Good afternoon. It's 3 o'clock. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. In college football news today, the University of Wisconsin and its NIL collective have filed a lawsuit against the University of Miami over alleged tampering. Wisconsin is seeking unspecified damages, transparency, and accountability from Miami for allegedly interfering with a binding revenue share contract between the Badgers and former defensive back Xavier Lucas, who left the program after the transfer portal closed back in January to join Miami. The Big Ten released a statement backing Wisconsin's lawsuit, saying Miami's actions are I'm not even trying to say that. With a sustainable college sports framework. The NBA Finals are headed to Game 7 after the Pacers even the series with a 108-91 win. It will be the first game since Game 7 since the 2016 Finals. Tip-off is on Sunday at 7 p.m. on ABC. The College World Series final is set as Coastal Carolina, riding a 26-game win streak, will take on LSU for the national championship. Game 1 is on Saturday at 6 p.m. Game 2 Sunday at 1:30. And the if needed Game 3 will be Monday at 6:30. For Harvey Foundation Repair, whatever needs you need to visit USSTN.com. We're going to use it once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Welcome into 3HL right here on 104.5 The Zone. It is finally Friday.
Let's go.
That's
Beautiful
right.
day.
Yes.
Can't beat it, y'all.
Why would you try to beat it? Brought to you by Ferguson. Make sure you get all your needs done with Ferguson. It's the only way to do the right thing. And first and foremost, we got Babsy in the building.
I'm in the building. Okay, can I give you a funny story?
What you got, Babsy?
So apparently this Joan Jett song is on Disney Descendants, but they took out all the bad words.
That's your, didn't y'all dress up as that?
Yes.
Oh.
So Baby Babs was dancing. Like, she always tells Alexa, I won't do that to you people.
Yeah.
She always tells her, play Disney songs, and then she dances and sings and, has her microphone, and you're not allowed to stand on her stage and all the things. So this song comes on, and it's from Descendants, and I'm like, I had no idea. It's like Descendants 4 or something, right? Like, I haven't gotten that far. And I was like, Hads, this is Mom's song. Now they say, I don't, what do they say? They say something like, I don't care about my reputation.
Okay, that's cool.
Is what it is, or whatever. I'm like, this is Mom's song. So I tried to video her dancing and singing to it or whatever. She wouldn't let me. I was going to put it out and be like, look, like mother, like daughter.
Babsy.
She's like, no, Mommy, it's my song. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, she don't want no parts of that you videoing her, especially when she don't know it.
Yeah.
A little
she
sneaking
will
and
not.
doing that? Nah, that
I have to hide to video her. Otherwise, she's like, don't film me.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
I love that.
Yeah. So anyway, I was just so proud. I'm like, they did this song. Rod Slay's in the building.
I'm in the building. Better be ready.
Sing it.
Time. It's almost, Babsy.
I thought I was going to get it there.
Well, I mean, every now and then we get the car ain't got no roof. Car ain't got no roof is jamming today, too.
I feel like once camp starts, we might get you.
I think so. Because I'm going to be all in. And that right there, we got a lot of questions. Well, we got a singular question that's should lead to a little bit of conversation for later in the show about Titans and just who's the most important to Cam Ward's success.
So Mayor's on assignment, but
Yes,
I
he
think
is.
we have a really fun show without him.
I believe so, too, baby.
No offense, Mayor.
Yeah.
Because he's probably listening.
He probably
he
is.
just texted us.
Hey.
Yep.
What up, Yoram?
We love you, Yoral. Anyway, so we've got Cosell coming at 3:20. Raone Foster, Savage at
Big
4:20.
Savage.
And then a very special guest, by phone this time.
Yeah.
A little Frank Caliendo at 5 p.m.
That's going to be good.
I might have to hit him on doing his Gruden.
It's great. It's great.
So good.
Like, he is part of the
bring
boom
back
boom
up
room.
groomers.
Yeah.
And have him hit a little Gruden.
Did you go to, have you been to one of his comedy shows?
No.
I went the last time when he was here when we were at Nissan. It was pretty good, man. Like he knows how to deliver. I mean, of course he does. He's a comedian.
He's also a really successful one.
Like, it's not just a running them up. Yeah.
Well, so he's coming back in July.
Yep.
Which we'll ask him about.
July 23rd.
Yeah. July 23rd, is that when it is?
Yep.
So we'll talk to him about that show. I think we need to go, like, as a show.
Absolutely.
To the show. And then I wonder if we can't work it out to where we can, like, give away a ticket or something and have somebody with us.
I'm sure.
Zeph, get on that. Hit Rich up.
Okay.
Just okay.
That
I like
was
that, Zeph.
easy.
Yeah. What else can we tell you to do?
I don't know. Hey,
Zeph?
Zeph, I'm out of wine. Give me some wine.
I gotta wait till afterward.
No.
I gotta wait till afterward to do that one.
Vandy Man AD said in the chat, man, has he impersonated you yet? No, he hasn't.
Oh, we might have to hit it. So,
It's gonna be interesting.
Full transparency, the last time he sat with us live, he just there was a moment where he just stared at you.
Yeah.
And I was
trying
like,
to
what's
get it.
going on, Caliendo? He's like, I've got to work on Slay. Like, this is, and I'm like, yeah, because he's a Tennessee mutt with a Southern accent. He was like, it's a really hard impersonation
I love
to
it.
do. So we'll have to ask him how he is on that one. Maybe when he's going to come sit down with us in person in July as well. And maybe,
He will be on Zoom today, so
we will.
Yeah, so we will be able to people on the live stream on all where you get your Zone TV, so YouTube, Facebook, Twitter
and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
Yeah, you'll be able to see him.
Oh, you will be able to see him. Okay.
Wow, okay. That's what's up.
He's so good when you can see him,
Yes.
too.
You need all the facial expressions and everything. It's a whole act with him.
So I was kind of thinking, I'm like, what impersonation do I want him to do? So I thought about his Donald Trump's probably phenomenal at this point, right? Because, good Lord, there's so much to pocket there.
Yeah.
So what if it was like Donald Trump, George W., Barack Obama, all at dinner, how would it go down?
What's that conversation like?
What's that conversation
Bring that one up, Babs.
Yes.
Bring that one up.
All right, I'm writing a note.
You know what'll be weird, though? Like, if he does my voice, I don't know how I'm going to respond to it. Like, because I know what I sound like, but to hear somebody else talking as me is going to be weird. Like, listening to him do Morgan Freeman is nuts to me. Like,
does he know that he is the voice of the Boom Boom Room?
He's gonna know now.
Do we put him in the Boom Boom Room?
Absolutely.
We put him in the Boom Boom Room with him as Morgan Freeman introducing the Boom Boom.
There you go. That's it.
He's gonna be like, "Where are my royalties? What are y'all doing?"
It's been booming too, boy. Everybody loves it.
If he impersonates you, I think you just need to have a conversation with him, like you would have a conversation with yourself.
Oh, that's scary.
And I don't know what to ask myself though.
Is this on cigar and whiskey?
Yeah, that'd be the other part.
Well, look, you've got 2 hours to figure it out.
Okay.
I'll try to figure it out, though.
All right, figure it out.
I would do that.
So we've got all that going on. College football news, drama.
Yeah.
Wisconsin, Miami lawsuit going on. We'll hit that. Zeph would like a Tennessee basketball update since they have had some practices. So
I will try to help Zeph.
Hopefully you're in on that.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas chokes again.
This is Zeph, boy.
You got to keep the again in there. LSU in the final, and Coastal Carolina was asked a funny question today. We'll play that in a little bit too about LSU, and the response was pretty classic. But what was Zeph? You're a baseball guy. What was your feeling that last inning of Arkansas LSU? Like it was like they just kept happening. The mistakes just kept happening. You're like, oh, they're doing it again. They're choking again. It's going to happen.
I couldn't stop laughing because it just flashbacks to when they played Oregon State in the finals a few years ago, and where they played it in the broadcast because it literally happened again, where they the game-winning out as a pop-up, and between three guys, it just fell right in between three Oregon State ends up coming back and winning that final game and winning the series and winning the national championship. And in this one, it's just, at first you have the game-winning double play. Tailor-made double play. If I wanted a double play, this was the play. Right. Straight to the shortstop. It was a fast ground ball, so it wasn't a slow roller.
Time.
You had plenty of time. And this is your Golden Spikes finalist shortstop it's going to. And what does he do? He turns to third and gets the lead out to prevent a runner from getting closer to scoring when that run didn't even matter because you were up by 2.
Yeah.
Right? So that happens.
Bless
and
his
then
heart.
Charles Davalon in left field misreads a fly ball.
I just want to hug
He
Charles.
falls. I think the ball hit him in the head.
Hard.
He was sick.
I think
but it hit off the top of his glove first.
Yeah, it hit his glove and then his head, and then goes straight into the corner. LSU ties the game. And then this is where Dave Van Horn, I don't know what you're doing. Why do you let them pitch to Bear Jones? That is LSU's best hitter. He's one of the best hitters in the country with a runner in scoring position. Why do you pitch to him?
Questionable decision.
He puts a single, again, off the glove. Almost an incredible play to end it there.
He was right
off
there.
the glove. LSU wins it, and then Arkansas just break down. And I can say that I was definitely hate watching Arkansas in that game.
I know you were. Dave Van Horn, man, he needs to go to Omaha in like the off season or something and make peace with that city.
Yeah.
Something about that field and that city does not like Dave Van Horn in Arkansas.
Bless us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're like the one like college baseball like blue blood, but you can't call them a blue blood because they haven't won anything.
No, and they
Zeph is leaning in, boy.
and Giles leaning in on the chat, by the way. He said UT fans talking defensive baseball errors is ironic.
Yeah, that's why we're qualified to talk about how bad that was. I've seen it. I've seen it, and that was bad.
Yeah.
And look, Tennessee may have had their errors, but not in a game that big, not in that moment.
I had a guy tell me on social media when the play happened, I was like, man, that one right there was going to sting for a while. And he was like, man, sting, that wasn't a bad play. That was just, like, what do you say, middle schoolers can make those plays. I'm like, dude, listen, on the way to a championship run, on that journey, the ball has to bounce your way. You need luck, you need health, and you need to make some extraordinary plays every now and then. So it could be a bad call. Does not matter. That's the way it goes. That's just, it's sports.
Well, I would think it stings even more when it's a routine
like
play
that
you're supposed to make, you know?
And it was bad, man, because he started running back first, and then changed his pace coming up.
Completely misread
that was tough. Yeah, that was a tough one.
The funny thing I've seen from Arkansas fans, like the chat, obviously, like screenshots of like those Arkansas chat rooms like come out.
Oh, those boards are crazy.
And it's all like, fire Dave Van Horn, go get Tony Vitello. When a week ago or 2 weeks ago, whenever they played Tennessee, it was
best thing moving.
I can't wait till it was Dave Van Horn will always own Tony Vitello. He's the greatest coach ever. They were singing his praises, and now it's let's fire him and go get the guy we want to replace him. So I think that's funny from Arkansas fans.
That is funny.
Enjoy sitting on the couch next to us.
Look at you. Look at Zeph, man.
I'm telling you, here for it. Here for it all.
He's gotten a little feisty in his year anniversary of being on this show.
Also, go Coastal Carolina. Running with a 26-game win streak into this College World Series.
So you're not hashtag SEC?
No.
I am.
No. What Coastal's done, like, I want to see them. I want to see them finish it out. I want to see them finish it out.
Win another championship. Add it to their
That's pretty dope.
Trophy case from 2016. 26. That would be what 28 straight.
If they would have won it, I'm not mad at all. Like, that's well deserved, man. However they get to win it.
Do you want to? Yeah. Why don't we play this Coastal Carolina question?
Clip.
So the question's in there, right, Zeph?
Yes.
Okay, so listen to what the reporter asked. There's, just so you know, there's what, like 4 players?
There's the head coach and 3 players.
And 3 players sitting up there answering questions. This is their pre-press conference. Here you go.
For Blake and Caden and Jacob always asked us every year, your thoughts on LSU, what do you admire just as student athletes and fans of baseball, what do you like about the Tigers?
Not a whole lot. Yeah, I mean, we're not really worried about the Tigers. We're more of just a self-oriented team. Like, we're just focused on our team and our team only.
Just the silence, though. And they're all looking around at each other like, we don't have an answer for this.
What's up? What do you think?
Look, I don't care what kind of win streak you're on or how you actually feel. I don't think you should go in front of a microphone that is recording and say, we're not worried about the team we're about to play for a national championship.
Jeff, you did it with what's the name, though?
I'm
Liam
a fan.
Doyle going up there.
I'm a fan. That's different.
He's saying as a player.
As a player.
He's not saying.
As a player, you don't do that. I don't think you should do that.
I don't think that was that bad, though. The last part. Him saying that we were like,
oh, we're a
we're
team,
so focused on ourselves.
But a very easy answer would be like, oh yeah, we admire that fan base. They come out.
They're a
winning
storied
the
program.
Jello shot challenge.
They probably like forget them.
Yeah.
They
don't care.
No, they don't.
I loved the silence though. It was so good. And the coach was just like, meh.
I'm with it.
That was good stuff. I think it's going to be a fun series, no doubt. And then obviously NBA Finals, Pacers win game 6, not just win, but dominate game 6. We'll talk a little bit about that. I'm going to get Slay's take on all of that as well. And we have Greg Cosell coming up. Also at 5:20, I think this will be a fun segment. I told you we got a packed show today, y'all. Mayor, what? We don't even need you, Mayor. Just kidding.
Psych.
Hurry back.
Psych.
Yeah, 5:20. Who on the Titans is most important to Cam Ward's success? We're going to get one player from all of you. That's in our 5:20 segment. Who do you think is the most important to Cam Ward's success? Shoot, it could be not just a player. It could be Callahan, right? Could be his play caller. Whatever you want to do on that conversation, that's coming up in our 5 o'clock hour. But first, we've got Greg Cosell, the best film evaluator in the business, and he's next on 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
United Structural Systems. You guys need to know these guys because they are there for you with foundation repair issues, with waterproofing issues. They will help you out. United Structural Systems is a foundation repair and waterproofing company that has served the Middle Tennessee area since 1994. And when USS comes out to your home, you are getting problem solvers who provide peace of mind to their customers, the homeowner. You're not getting someone who is worried about meeting a sales quota or upselling the next big thing, but someone there to educate you and help you understand what's happening with your home. At USS, their only measure of success is how satisfied the homeowner is, not a closing ratio. This attitude and culture is the reason they keep employees year after year. From project managers to customer service to production, some have even been at USS for more than 25 years. More than 30,000, 100%. Satisfied residential customers at USS. With foundation repair needs, waterproofing needs, whatever your needs are, USS will help you out. Homeowners trust USS keeping homes dry and stable. We guarantee our best. Call USS 615-488-7855. USS serving Middle Tennessee, Southern Kentucky, and Western Kentucky. Online at USSTN.com.
Welcome back in to 3HL Radio 104.5 The Zone on Friday. Getting ready for the weekend. We're taking you all the way in, people. Getting off work. People finishing up today. People that took the extra day. We appreciate you hanging in there with us. We got the one and only Greg Cosell joining us of NFL Films. And Cosell, the best film evaluator in the world. How about that, Cosell? What about that intro?
That's quite the introduction, Slay. Quite the introduction.
See, this is what happens when Mayor's gone. You get a Slay intro, which you know is next level.
Wow, I don't know if I can live up to that. It's Friday afternoon.
This is true. Cosell, we did want to hit on the quarterbacks around the league. These young and up-and-coming quarterbacks,
Sure.
the ones that seem to be able to take the torch and run with it. Let's start with the guy that took everybody by storm last year, Jaden Daniels, in Washington. What's your thoughts on him as far as a bounce-back year? What did he do good last year? What was he successful? Was it the scheme? Was it him? What was it?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I've been thinking a lot about that with quarterbacks because I've had a number of conversations with coaches. And, I think that one of the things coaches really understand about these young quarterbacks is what they're comfortable with and what makes them successful in college and how you can sort of translate that to the NFL to a certain extent. And I think the guys that have movement ability really have an advantage early in their career because we watch these young quarterbacks guys play really well and we assume that, hey, they're going to just step right in. It's always going to be easy. It doesn't always work like that. We saw a great example with C.J. Stroud this past year. Now, I know they made the playoffs, won a playoff game, but he had some struggles throughout the course of the 2024 season, sort of unlike he did in his rookie season. So Jaden Daniels was obviously phenomenal, and the running element, both the design run game and the scrambling, all those second reaction improvisational plays helped tremendously. But now what'll happen this year, and again, I'm not saying he's not going to play well. He may play great. But what'll happen is he'll see a lot of different things defensively. He'll have to figure those things out. The protection element will get a little more difficult. I don't know, quite honestly, if he calls protections or if the offensive center does. But at some point, he will need to get, just in his continuing evolution, and all young quarterbacks, a better understanding of NFL defenses because they're going to show him little tweaks in their fronts, in their coverage looks, in where people line up. And he's going to have to start to understand all that so he can recognize when there might be pressure, when there's not pressure, what it means from a coverage perspective. There's so many details and nuances that he still hasn't seen yet, but he's an incredibly smart kid with a great feel for the game. He may struggle at times, but it won't derail his career.
So I always think back, and I want to say this was probably towards the end of the season we had you on, and we were talking about Jaden Daniels, and what you told me never left me because I have been thinking about it a lot, obviously with Cam Ward, with the Titans,
Sure.
with a rookie quarterback coming in and wanting to be successful. And I remember you telling us how different the offense was for Jaden Daniels in the beginning of the season, maybe like first couple of weeks, into what it looked like later in the season. Will you just refresh on that? Like, how did the offense change for him from the beginning to the end?
Well, one thing coaches will tell you, Dawn, is until you start playing the real games, you don't know. I mean, you can go through, even with someone like Cam Ward now, obviously Brian Callahan and the offensive staff have a sense of what they think Cam Ward is, and that'll continue through training camp. My guess is he'll play some in the preseason, but until you play week 1 in Denver, you don't know for sure exactly what a quarterback is as a rookie. So what you're really trying to get a feel for is what he can do well and what you feel can be your staples early in the season. Now, with all quarterbacks, as the season progresses, you have to give him some responsibility. A quarterback can't be a robot. So what happens is you start to see the quarterback sort of get a more comfortable feel for what he's seeing, what he's looking at, what he'd like to run. And so you just see those things start to develop over time. Because one of the things that a lot of coaches have talked to me about over the years is, yes, you game plan and you call the plays, but because the nature of defenses is such, they change things, pre-snap, they move people around, is you have to find out what the quarterback can do and can't do without the coaching. You have to find out what he's comfortable with, what he sees, how he reacts. And you know what? Early on, sometimes they react properly, sometimes they don't. Those are all learning elements for a young quarterback. And they're not going to react the right way all the time early on. And then you use those as teachable moments. So, Jaden Daniels started to get, more and more comfortable with what he was seeing. And therefore, you can play. Ultimately, you want your quarterback, even if they can move really well, Dawn, ultimately, you want your quarterback to be super efficient from the pocket, because that's the way the game is called and played. You don't roll the ball out and say, you know what, we're just going to run around today and see what happens. You practice, and you want the things to be executed within the structure and timing. And Jaden Daniels started to just feel more comfortable doing that.
So this is kind of more of a bigger picture, I guess, but you could say Jaden Daniels had the roster around him to help him be super efficient in the pocket early on before he kind of recognized more what he was seeing. Do you think at this point the Titans have a roster around them that could help from a rookie quarterback standpoint of being efficient?
Well, it's funny because Daniels did not have a great offensive roster. The O-line was probably average at best. They didn't have a big-time back, so he had to be a large part of the run game. That's obviously not going to be the case with Cam Ward. I think right now as we speak, and obviously I was in town last week, so I saw the mandatory minicamp. I think there's still some questions that need to be answered for the Titans. Obviously, they addressed the O-line. That will be better. One can't sit here and say how much better. It will be better. They have veterans now. They have Kevin Zeitler at right guard. He's a big addition. They have Dan Moore at left tackle. They've got another year with Skoronski. They're bringing J.C. Latham back to right tackle, the position he played at Alabama at a really high level. Cushenberry's back. So it will be a better O-line. I think the questions they have at receiver, and I think it will be a great camp competition, will be at wide receiver, because we know that they have Calvin Ridley, who when I saw him in person, first time I've seen him in person, he is just smooth as silk.
Yeah.
But they're going to keep the two rookies for sure. So that's DK and Aya Minor. So now, who are the other receivers? They obviously signed two veterans in Lockett and Van Jefferson. If the assumption is they keep both those guys, that's 5 right there. That's pretty much your receiving core. Now, my guess is Bryce Oliver makes the team because he's a core special teamer. So that's 6. That pretty much covers your receiving core. But I think there'll be a lot of competition other than Ridley as to who gets snaps and how many snaps. So that's just a question right now. We don't know how the rookies will develop, but they're both going to make the team. Aya Minor he's just an impressive looking human being because he's so put together. One of the reasons he was a 5th round pick is he had so many drops in college, which obviously they're trying to clean up. He's aware of that as well, obviously. But, we'll see how that all plays out.
Another
Drops
guy,
in college.
Well, good thing there. This is the pros.
PTSD.
Yeah, this is the pros. So get an opportunity. You can always flip that switch. Cosell, when you're looking in this division, also not Anthony Richardson. Him having the shoulder soreness and everything, but Daniel Jones.
Oh, he's a rapper now. So
Plus he's a rapper. Yeah, he raps now. Cosell, didn't know if you knew that, but Anthony Richardson picking up hobbies.
Is now a rapper?
Yeah, he's picking up hobbies as well.
Yeah.
Waiting on the shoulder to heal.
Yeah. Well, maybe he's seeing that he needs to do something else. I don't know.
That's
it
true.
Could be. What do you think about Daniel Jones fitting in there and him kind of hand picking where he's going as far as the coach? What do the coach offer a guy like him?
Sly, he's been one of the biggest enigmas for me because I always thought Daniel Jones had talent. And by the way, if you go back to his rookie season, it looked like he was on his way to being a really quality NFL quarterback. Yeah. The offensive line has been was a real problem for the Giants. I think Jones, he throws it well. I think one of his issues, we've talked about this with Will Levis, is he's a little robotic in the pocket. And even though he can run and run well, he doesn't really have pocket management and pocket movement. And I think when you don't have a good offensive line and you're kind of required to move within the pocket, I don't think that's something Daniel Jones has done really well throughout his career. But he throws the ball well. He's a big kid. He's got straight line mobility. I'm very curious because he'll be the starting quarterback. And I'm very curious, they've got a pretty good O-line. They've got really good skill players. I think this is kind of a real litmus test for him in his career because he might be able to revive his career right here. We'll see. I'm not saying he will or he won't, but he's always been kind of, like I said, an enigma for me because he throws the ball really well. And, now he'll get an opportunity with certainly a better O-line than he had with the Giants.
Yeah.
Did you like him coming out of college? I know sometimes it's hard to tell with his competition.
Now, again, I don't get caught up in where a guy should be drafted. Obviously, with the sixth pick in the draft, it's easy now looking back to say, gee, that was a mistake and that was too high. But you know what? After his rookie season, no one said that. And, and it all started to fall apart after his rookie season. Look, there's the thing is, even though he can run, at his core, he's a pocket quarterback. So at his core, what he needs to be is a ball distributor and an efficient executor. Those kinds of quarterbacks need team around them. Yeah. And they need not just offensive team around them. They need a defensive team around them as well. So, we'll see if that all works out now in Indianapolis. If it doesn't, his career is probably over. If it does, he'll be rejuvenated, and we'll have another Sam Darnold type story. Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
I have a liking for Daniel Jones. It's funny though.
Wanted the Titans to get him.
Yeah, I did. I just think it's sometimes he has some of those surprise moments, like, oh, I can make a play right here, and he tries to do it over and over instead of being like what you said, distributing the ball, and you don't have to be the guy to make the play, even though you have those attributes. Just go with the flow of the game.
There's no question, guys, that the movement element for quarterbacks has become increasingly important for a number of reasons in the league. But I talk to coaches every offseason, and there's still a strong belief by NFL coaches, which I personally agree with, that you still have to be able to make throws from the pocket in critical situations in a game. Yeah. Whether it's third and long, whether it's late in the first half or it's fourth quarter. At some point you're going to have to drop back and make throws. And there's a lot that goes into that. I don't want to make it seem like it's easy. There's a lot that goes into that. But you just can't live on being a runaround quarterback. Now, as I said, that has become increasingly important. So I don't want to downplay it, but that can't be, if 10 is the best, you can't be a 3 throwing the ball from the pocket and be a good NFL quarterback.
Right.
No doubt.
Go
ahead.
I got one more for you, because before if we get a chance to get to C.J. Stroud. But Bryce Young, man, going into year 3, what was it last year what was different when he was subbed out? They brought Andy Dalton in, let him get some time, and it was like when he got inserted back into the game, Bryce Young was kind of a little different.
Bryce Youngish.
It was Bryce Youngish.
What you
it was Heisman like Bryce Youngish. Yeah. What did you see from him on the field?
Everything with Bryce Young is about protection inside because Bryce Young is small and he does not have a big arm. So Bryce Young just can't sit on his back foot in the pocket and drive the football. Bryce Young can't be an effective quarterback when there's people around him and the pocket gets squeezed. So I'm not comparing him to Drew Brees at all, but if you guys recall, one of the most important things with Sean Payton when he had Drew Brees was to make sure that the center and the 2 guards were really, really good. Because they control the depth of the pocket. The center and the 2 guards control the depth of the pocket. So smaller quarterbacks without big arms need to have room to throw the football. And that's absolutely critical for Bryce Young. He needs that kind of space. And they've addressed that. It started to get better. It started to get better at the end of last season, and we'll see if it continues. They obviously are addressing, certain positions, wide receiver being one. Bryce Young I've been around Bryce Young, and he comes from a phenomenal family. And I tell you what, his He's an incredibly intelligent young man, incredibly intelligent, with a great feel for the game. But the reality is he's a shorter quarterback without a big arm. That's just a reality of life. We can't, he's not going to be Matthew Stafford this year.
Right.
So, he needs certain things on offense to be an effective player and a consistent player. Does he have to throw for 4,000 yards and 35 touchdowns? No. But, there needs to be consistency in what you get week after week.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned him a little bit earlier when we were talking Jaden Daniels, but C.J. Stroud, obviously Titans fans very curious to see what C.J. Stroud shows up this year. What kind of was the difference for him from, such a successful rookie campaign to now, or to last year and then to now? And I don't even know what their offensive line looks like at this point. I think it's kind of all over the show, right?
Well, I'll tell you this. Here's what happened with Stroud last year, and it didn't surprise me. Last year, his offensive line did not play as well as it did in his rookie season. Yeah. Okay, so what happened is there were far more throws out of squeezed pockets, and he was a little uncomfortable. And that's normal. That's part of the progression of playing quarterback in the NFL. And he's a pocket quarterback. Yes, he showed a little more mobility than some might have expected, Don, when he came out of Ohio State. But at his core, he's a pocket player, and he's a very, very good pocket player. But all of a sudden last year, there were more bodies around him when he was throwing the ball, and he started to hurry himself and speed himself up. And the precise ball location, which was a significant foundation of his rookie season, it didn't quite work the same way. So that's part of the learning curve that I was talking about. After his rookie season, everybody just assumed this guy's just going to go out there and everything's going to be easy. It doesn't work like that in the NFL. You go through a process. So for him, that was a learning curve. And obviously they could still win football games while he was going through that, because Mixon had a phenomenal year. Their defense is really, really good. And, and this is why it's so important that for younger quarterbacks, that you have a team. We've talked about this with Cam Ward. If they're in a situation where he has to drop back 45 times a game, that's going to be a problem. Mm-hmm. And, you want to have enough team that maybe there's a week where, Cam Ward can go 15 for 24 for 180 yards and they can win a football game. You want to be in that situation where every single drop back does not seem like, oh my God, if I don't make this play, we lose the game.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know we're tight on time, but I don't think we didn't ask you about Aaron Rodgers last week. And obviously everybody wants to talk about, the fact that he's married now and all the off-field stuff. But what does the actual tape show on Aaron Rodgers at this point in his career?
He can still throw the ball as well as anybody. He's still incredibly intelligent. The big deal with Rodgers is that he can't move as well. So the improvisational off-schedule plays just do not happen the way they did. And that was a foundation of his game, obviously, when he was in Green Bay, the way he could, move to his right or his left and just make throws that just were incredibly wow. He really can't do that with any kind of real consistency. I don't want people to see one when he does it in the season. It goes, you said he couldn't do it. He can't do it with the same kind of consistency. That won't be a foundation of his game. But if you're talking about just throwing the football from the pocket and being, the guy's super intelligent as a football player. I just remember a very quick story with one of his quarterback coaches told me this was Green Bay back in his prime, that he, when you come off the field, you sit down with your quarterback coach because he's normally on the sideline, and you look at the iPad and you go over the plays. And the quarterback coach told me that he knew what 7 defensive players were doing. He said that's unheard of. If a quarterback knows what 3 defensive players are doing, that's a lot. He said he knew what 7 defensive players were doing on given plays. The guy's brilliant as a quarterback with incredible feel, incredible instincts, and he still throws the ball great. It's just that he can't move the way he did.
Is that vision? Is that prep work? Is that film? What is it?
You can't teach that. I brought this up many times because Slay obviously was a professional basketball player and a great player in the SEC, talking about point guards. Some guys see it, some guys don't. You can't teach a guy to see it like that. I've always used, because I always, being a basketball fan and being an older guy, I always think of Jason Kidd.
Yes.
You can't teach a guy to see the court like Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
He just sees it that way. Rodgers just sees it. You can't teach that.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, great stuff today.
Yes, definitely.
Hey, real quick on the way out, do we know if I was going back to the 6-7 wide receiver, what the Titans are going to end up keeping and all that? Do we know if Restrepo can be a decent special teams guy?
I don't know that. And the only issue with Restrepo, by the way, I really liked his tape coming out of college. He's not a 4.8 guy. I mean, that was a fluke. He's probably a 4.6 guy, and he doesn't have to be a 4.4 guy. The only issue with Restrepo is he's more than likely, I would say it's 99% certain that he's a slot-only player.
Okay.
And, because of that, he's going to be a little bit behind the 8 ball because DK can play all over the formation. Lockett can line up all over the formation. Jefferson can line up all over the formation. So the only issue with Restrepo, and again, I'm not saying he's going to get cut. I don't want people to say, it's just that that's what he is. He's very, very good at it. But that's what he is.
I mean, and when you have 53 spots, it's, you got to be good at something else, too.
And DK's a punt returner, too. So, that's a big factor.
Yep. Good point. Awesome. Thanks, Cosell. We appreciate you. Have a good weekend.
You too, guys. Thanks so much.
All right.
There he is, Greg Cosell. You can check him out on Twitter. He also always does his, what do they call it with Buck?
The install.
Install.
Yeah.
Thank you. God, I'm like...
They recorded today, and it should be uploaded soon.
There you go. The install with Cosell. Great stuff. Let's take a quick break. Let's talk NBA. You want to talk some
Let's
hoops
do
when
it,
we get back?
Babsy.
All right. That's coming up. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
All right, y'all. It's that opportunity that you've been looking for. Like, who do you call when you get into an accident? Blair Durham. That's right. Bart Durham Injury Law. I'll make that real simple for you. It's a number that you should always have. Matter of fact, write it down on your hand. Write it down on a piece of paper. Put one of the cards in your wallet. Matter of fact, just store it in your phone. 615-242-9000. Don't you want somebody that's always there 24/7 and ready to fight for you, that you don't have to coerce into fighting for you, or you have to, make up a story and tell them what didn't really happen to think that they'll take the case? It's not what Bart Durham Injury Law does. When life comes at you fast and an accident throws off your entire everything, whether it be job, bills, peace of mind, that's when you need the good friends over at Bart Durham Injury Law to come through. Blair Durham and his team never, ever, never falter. No upfront costs, no waiting around, just real people making sure you get what you deserve. BDIL, 615-242-9000, Bart Durham Injury Law.
Got to Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. That's where you need to go to get that next new vehicle, whether you want a car, truck, SUV, Jeep, whatever you need. They will be able to help you out. If you want a new vehicle, certainly check out Gupton. They've got great deals going on that you'll find out online, GuptonMotors.com. And pre-owned inventory is phenomenal if you want to go that direction. Again, inventory online, GuptonMotors.com. They have deals going on in the month of March that you can check out online. All of the dealership information is there. Address, phone number, inventory, and deals, GuptonMotors.com. Check them out, 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee. That is where you will find the best vehicle buying experience you will have ever had. 3450 Tom Austin Highway, Springfield, Tennessee, just 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. Check them out. Daniel Gupton and his crew ready to help you. Just tell them what you're looking for. They will point you in the right direction. Take your test drive, go inside. They will help make the numbers work, and it'll be that easy. Best vehicle buying experience you will have ever had. That's Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
Welcome into 3HL right here on 104.5 The Zone. We are back, locked and loaded with you.
Zeph.
Yeah, a little basketball. You led off with it, Babsy. You wanted to get into a little bit of NBA basketball right here, so why not? NBA Finals, they are taking place, Babsy.
They are taking place. And I turned the game on, after doing the 5-year-old bath, getting her to bed, doing all that. So by the time I turned the game on, it was like 90-60.
Yeah, you could have turned it off.
I know. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
And then at the end, it's like nothing but scrubs.
Yeah. Everybody got opportunity.
Still make $1 million, but you know.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I tell you what, man. Indiana, I'll say this first. I was talking to a partner before the game cut on because we were off yesterday. So I'm sitting on the front porch, beautiful day, cigar, bourbon early in the day, just sitting there watching all of the pregame shows. And one thing you know about games in general, and then if you take it up a notch, playoff basketball in any sport, this is any sport, the energy of home court makes a difference. It makes a difference. I picked OKC to win this in 6. I told my partner, hey, man, I'm going to be honest. The energy that's hovering around Indiana right now, dude, they may come out there and just jump on them. They may do it.
Who did you pick at the beginning of this series? Okay.
OKC in 6. But that is sometimes, like, I remember we were doing a show outside. I talked about this on the morning show. We were doing a show outside of Nissan, and I think it was a Thursday night game. Might have been a Monday night game, but the Titans were getting ready to play San Francisco. They were coming here, and we had a lot of guys on the Titans team down with injuries, and we wasn't even picked to be in the game. But the energy around the stadium, we walked away when we made our picks. I remember saying, like, hey, man, the Titans going to win this game. Like, I don't know why I can't tell you what's going to happen, Derrick Henry going to run for 7,000 yards. I don't know what's going to happen.
There's just
the energy feels different. Man, that's what I felt watching Indiana last night. And Indiana is a state, you know it with your husband, is a state that is founded on basketball. Like, that's what they cherish. There's nothing else more than basketball there. They showed up. That crowd showed up. I've never seen it show up like that. They showed up. They fed it. TJ McConnell was really, really good. Halliburton, he was able to buy minutes, but able to test out his calf muscle to see if the strain would it lead to anything else.
14 points.
Yeah, 14 points. Like, and it was testing it throughout the game. I thought they were aggressive. They were flying all around. They played like their backs were against the wall, and they didn't want to lose at home. And that's what happened. They jumped right on them. And also, it helped with OKC not being able to make a shot.
Yeah.
It was horrific watching them shoot, and they were getting open looks. They just were missing. So it's going to be interesting to see the dynamic. Can you bottle up what your role players did for Indiana and take it on the road, and they play somewhat like that? Because what you do know is role players play better at home. So OKC players didn't give them nothing. Role players didn't give them nothing on the road. I expect them to play much better at home. And I expect it to kind of be flip-flop, if you will. Yeah, with SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Jalen Williams, they showed them. They kept paying it to them in the fourth quarter. And they were just whispering stuff to each other like, look at them, check them out down there celebrating. You know what I mean? And Indiana, that's their last home game of the year regardless.
Right.
So they were supposed to go out with a bang, and they did, celebrating and everything. So I'm just saying, these young guys with no experience getting this far, they are learning on the go. And we saw once they get blasted earlier in the series, they know how to bounce back.
Yeah.
So they're going back home. And I feel that OKC's fan base will watch what Indiana did and feel like they got something to prove. So I expect them to go crazy. But you salute Pascal Siakam. He played like he was supposed to. Obi Toppin came off the bench. I thought a couple of those baskets at the end were just trash baskets, but he was very impactful. Nesmith finally showed up.
But still 20 off the bench.
Yeah, like you accept that. You accept that. Like Nesmith made some shots finally. If he would have been playing like this, I think it would have been a much different series for Indiana as well. So Mathurin, you got everything you needed. You got everything you needed. So now it's time for OKC to see what they'll do. Will they counter it?
Zeph, what's the early line for Sunday?
OKC minus 6.5.
I got them winning between 6 and 11 points. I already bet on it.
You already bet OKC.
Yeah, I think it was between 6 and 11 points. It's like plus 124 or something like that. So I bet OKC already. I bet it as soon as the game went off.
You did.
Because you could see it on their face.
Yeah.
Like, they got embarrassed.
Yeah.
And they were being made a mockery of.
Embarrassed early.
Yeah, they got on them. Like, it wasn't no, I think they had, in the, what was it, the third quarter? It was either the second or the third quarter. They hadn't scored since the previous quarter with 1:24 left on the clock. In that present quarter, it was 7 minutes left to play. They hadn't scored a bucket. So, man, Indiana came with it, man. Kudos to them. Pascal Siakam with the mean facial on Jalen Williams. Like, good gosh.
You see that relayed everywhere.
Man, I almost jumped up and my foot hurt.
So,
and
your knee.
And my knee.
Real quick before we go to break, first Game 7 in the NBA Finals since 2016.
That's crazy
Really?
to me.
First one since 2016. You know what that 2016 was?
That's 9 years.
It was the no, that was the
Cleveland.
That was the Cleveland Golden State, the 3-1.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, just real quick, these market teams, the fact that they're going to a Game 7, what they've delivered, outside of 2 games, it's been close back and forth. Just what does that mean?
Yep.
For the
and
NBA?
the public was like, "Oh, this is going to be the worst."
Exactly,
ever.
and now it's
Nobody
been
cares.
phenomenal.
Yeah, it's been really good. It's been really good basketball to be watched played. The way they're playing defensively, the team, you can kind of tell where the games are going to go. I think Game 5 was the only one where we saw it hung in the balance, and we were like, ooh, and then OKC was able to come back and get it. But it's going to be interesting, man. Like, the NBA needed this. Even though the markets are not big, but you needed this, and we're going to see who starts. This is what it's about. Game 7 in anything. Like, you can always talk about what you would do when the pressure gets the hottest or the highest.
This is it.
Will you deliver? This is when legends are made right here in Game 7s.
It's going to be
Robert
fun.
Horry made a career off of it. So,
hey, maybe a pool patio night.
Hey, that sounds like a great time to me, Babsy. Cigars and bourbon.
Well, there you go. And a little
Somebody
NBA.
just dropped me off.
Can you believe I just said that?
Yeah, I love it. That's how you know we're in the summer.
All right. Happy Friday to everybody. 4 o'clock hour coming up. We've got Raone Foster at 4:20. We've got Frank Caliendo coming up at 5. Don't forget about that. And we're going to hit on this college football lawsuit over player poaching. It's about to get ugly
It is.
around here. That's coming up. Stick with us. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. All right, spring and summer has now sprung, and you know what that means. It is officially moving season for a lot of people. Time filled with hours of packing, unpacking, so much bubble wrap. The first thing you should do when moving into your new home, though, is to make sure that your Wi-Fi is booming. And you know who you do that with? Xfinity. Super quick and easy to set up, and then boom, you'll have your new home hooked up with the ultimate Wi-Fi experience, faster than the time it takes you to parallel park a moving truck. You'll be back online with the most reliable Wi-Fi with the best in-class equipment from Xfinity, so you can kick back, relax, stream your favorite movies and TV shows while someone else deals with all of those boxes. Because with Xfinity, the only thing you have to worry about is remembering where you actually packed the remote. Make the right and easy move with Xfinity. You can learn more at xfinity.com/move. Restrictions apply, not available in all areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi claim based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Good afternoon. It's 4:04. I'm Joseph Bonanno, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. The University of Wisconsin and its NIL collective have filed a lawsuit against the University of Miami over alleged tampering. Wisconsin seeking unspecified damages, transparency, and accountability from Miami for allegedly interfering with a binding revenue share contract between the Badgers and former defensive back Xavier Lucas, who left the program after the transfer portal closed back in January to join Miami. The NBA Finals are headed to Game 7 after the Pacers even the series in Game 6. It will be the first Game 7 since the 2016 Finals. Tip-off is Sunday at 7 p.m. on ABC. The College World Series final is set as Coastal Carolina, riding their 26-game win streak, will take on LSU for the national championship. Game 1 on Saturday at 6. Game 2 on Sunday at 1:30. For our financial repair, whatever needs you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Welcome to 3HL 104.5 The Zone. We locked and loaded on this Good Friday, powered by our good friends over at Ferguson Home. Discover the Mount Juliet showroom at 401 South Mount Juliet Road. Ferguson Home, where it all comes together. Do the right thing, man, and make sure you get out to Ferguson and check out what they got. We got some couple of commercials and some couple of hits running around. I'm in the bathtub. I'm also in the shower.
You are in the bathtub.
Yeah, Babsy's examining the lights, washer and dryers, and all kind of things. So.
Where is the video of you on the toilet?
I forgot about that one. Where's that one
the
at?
best one.
I didn't put none of this stuff out yet.
There was
Zach.
because there was like small toilet,
didn't get
that.
medium-sized toilet.
Yeah, I was on the throne.
And then sleigh toilet.
Yeah, I was on the throne. That's where I was, shaking it down.
Ron Slay's in the building.
I'm in the building. Better be ready.
Car ain't got no roof.
Babs is waiting on it, y'all. Cam Ward, give us what we looking for, Titans. Give us what we looking for, baby. Babs is ready for the announcement.
I feel like once camp and maybe a
Camp will do it.
preseason game where we get to see Cam in action, maybe that'll do it for you.
How much you want to see? Babs is in the building too, y'all.
I'm here.
Yes, you are.
I know what you're asking me.
Whoa.
Tony,
Whoa.
I'm about to go off.
Babsy, you don't care nothing about your reputation, so I do need to know, like, how much of Cam do you want to see in the preseason? Because you know,
all of it.
I'm gonna be real. You know, I wasn't a fan of that when I first jumped on the radio.
Me and you went at it about that.
And guess what? I'm over on your side now because it makes no sense, especially with the unknown. You got to see
Rookie quarterback.
Yep.
Brand new offensive line.
Yep.
Second year head coach, play caller.
Mm-hmm.
Completely different offense, I think, because Callie was limited with what he felt comfortable calling with Will Levis.
Yep.
Callahan has learned a lot about himself and how to call an NFL game, I think.
Yep. Agreed.
So I better see all of that in the preseason. Let's say...
So you want him to play 20 games?
No.
Okay.
No, hold it down now. Okay. You don't have to be like over dramatic. Now, if it looks good early, listen, Raone Foster is going to come on today. We can ask him about it because obviously we know how he probably feels about preseason games, playing 12 years in the league, right? Mm-hmm. Or 11, 12, whatever.
12 should have been.
Let's just round it up to 12.
That sounds good to me.
Over a decade. How's that?
Yes.
Anyway, so let's say you get a lot of information on what you have in Cam Ward and offensive line and play calling. And on top of that, all your rookie wide receivers, that there's going to be one that you're going to have to rely on, I think, to be your number two.
Yep.
If you get enough good info in a preseason game one, then great, you're good. You're good.
So
then I don't have to see him a ton after that.
Okay. Because my next question to you was, and we're going to ask Savage too, is it a place where you're exposing him to too much? You know what I'm saying? As far as not exposing him to too much as far as playbook, but as far as
injury?
No, but film going out to your opponents, being able to see them and kind of.
No, I mean, I see what you're saying. Yeah, but he has to get a feel for at least the speed of the game. And we'll talk to Ramon, too, about the speed of preseason games and how similar it is to regular games, because it's still different. It's still the preseason. It's vanilla. Yep. You're not going to see a ton. I get it. But Cam Ward needs to practice the communication with, new offensive line. I mean, and obviously the joint practices give you a heck of a way to be able to do that nowadays, and that didn't exist, 10 years ago. Yep. So that certainly helps, but just the speed of the game, the environment, the communication with him and coach. I mean, obviously they've already learned a little bit of that in minicamp.
Good stuff going already.
With Cam Ward talking smack while listening to Brian Callahan, which is really impressive. So, but I just think it's necessary. I think it's necessary.
I agree with you. And I wasn't on board
especially with that offensive line.
Yeah, no,
you got two new pieces.
I'm with you.
And a guy on the right.
Yes.
Who
wasn't on the right.
Hasn't been on the right in the NFL.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. We got Zeph back there producing the show. What up, Zephyr?
What's up?
Mayor's on assignment.
Yorel is on assignment.
He'll be back Monday. Mm-hmm. Before we jump into this college football lawsuit, Coach T is on the line, wants to talk about the NBA Finals. So let's kind of wrap up our NBA talk from the last segment, let Coach T get in there. Zeph, you're going to have to pull him up because I can't. Hi, Coach.
Man, hey, you guys got to squeeze me in. What's up, Slay?
What up, Coach T? How you doing, brother?
Hey, matter of fact, Slay, your boy told me to tell you hello, man. Rick up at Kentucky Dallas. He said, man, I ain't know you in Slay. I said, man, that's Slay, my man.
Yeah, it's good folks right there, yeah.
It's like, and by the way, y'all got to go ahead and throw Cam in there, Slay. It's like preseason basketball. You catch a couple of bowls, a couple of slaps and hits, you don't know what the league look like.
That's right. That's right.
Let him get out there. But I'm going to tweak your thoughts on this final. I like it. I've been hot with you guys, man, since college football, right? So we're going to roll OKC, but I got a couple of tweaks. I'm taking the Pacers with the under. Yeah, I think they're gonna cover the spread. I think OKC wins, but it's gonna come down to the last minute. Williams been playing great, but you got to get this Vandy boy, and Naismith has been hot. He's been playing real good. Halliburton's been doing his thing right now. So I really think that with Siakam standing up, and he's gonna step out and do what Siakam normally does. But I think that Indiana's going to understand it's a road game, but this is the last road game you're going to make of the season. So I think people are going to be very, very, very surprised. And by the way, I don't know what it looks like for Game 7 because Southtown, baby, we only won 6.
That's right. Mike wouldn't allow y'all to go any further. Jordan wouldn't allow y'all to go any further.
We do 7s around here, man. Right. If you're at the casino, we're doing 6s, baby.
That's right. I respect that. Appreciate that, Coach T.
Hey, later, baby.
All right.
Have a good weekend, Coach T.
I think you got a good point with
you
that.
guys too.
Yeah, no doubt. I think one of the things, though, with what he's saying, to put a bow on it, just like if they can bottle that up and take it on the road, great. But one of the guys, and Yor talks about all the time how he gets on his nerves, but Chet Holmgren was null and void yesterday. It looked so bad.
He despises him.
Oh, Yor can't stand him. But it looked so bad yesterday. At some point, he has to shake out of it. And I expect it to be at home. What better circumstances do you have to go and not just be able to make shots, but just being aggressive, going to the boards and defending the basket. So we'll see how it go.
Yeah.
See how it go.
It'll be fun.
Yep.
We're out of time.
Already? Who coming up next?
Well, how about it's Ramon?
Savage?
Big Savage. Okay. We'll talk about this college lawsuit after Ramon. How's that?
That's cool.
All right, 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Raone Foster, Savage, talking. Since we brought up preseason, what we want to see out of Cam Ward, we'll ask him about all the deets from an actual NFL guy who probably hated preseason.
A professional, like you like to say, baby.
Oh, yes, a professional. We'll get a professional's take here. This is 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Buck Rising's facial hairstyle. Oh, goodness. Oh, I want to tell you about Loan Pronto. Maybe you're maxed out on credit cards. Maybe you have some high interest debt you need to get rid of. Guess what? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan. Here's how it works. Go to loanpronto.com. You can start the whole process there. You can use the equity in your home to get cash out now without touching your low rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting for it. Instant approvals, low rates, and no hard credit pull up front, too. Your home equity is yours. You want to use it to get cash out to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment, or maybe, do a home improvement project. Loan Pronto can do it all for you. A+ rated by the BBB, nearly 2,500 five-star Google reviews. It's probably gone up since I got all my facts, too. Their service is off the charts, and you can easily call them to let them help you. 615-499-5780, loanpronto.com at 615-499-5780. Loan Pronto, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
All right, y'all. It's time. Time for who? Bart Durham Injury Law. Now, I tell you all the time, how life can change in an instant. And it's up to you to understand how you can get over that. Get through it. Not over it, get through it. Because they ain't going to run from it. Car wreck throws off everything. Job, bills, peace of mind. And that's when you need them. Who? Bart Durham Injury Law. Now, Marine veteran Blair Durham, him and his team been fighting for folks in Tennessee for years, making sure insurance companies pay up. No upfront costs, no waiting around, just real people making sure you get what you deserve. So listen, accidents happen. That's what you got to understand. But it's not always your fault. And if it is your fault, still understand that you got a leg to stand on. Not like my knee. But if you've been injured, don't wait. Call Bart Durham Injury Law at 615-242-9000. Here 24/7 and ready to fight for you. Get back in here, 3HL, rocking and rolling with you on this Good Friday on 104.5 The Zone. You can catch us right here every day, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6. After all the other shows, Ramon and Will start us off. And Buck Rising, joined by Lucas Panzica and one and only Big Boss Bert, Robert Walsh. And Cover 2, bringing up and getting us ready for our pregame. Zach Lyons and Blaine, the Hitman Bishop. And now you have us. Your ears on a little assignment right now. Me and Babsy are holding it down with our guy Zephyr.
What's up, guys?
So we brought in so we could have a little protection up front while me and Babs run around in the pocket and play little flea flicker games and don't throw nobody downfield because Zephyr's not really open. So we need Big Savage to block. Raone Foster joins us from Ramon and Will. What up, Savage?
What up, Savage? What's going on, man?
Man, you know, we just on this Good Friday, man, just doing what we do. Uncrustables on deck, couple of essential waters.
Really?
Man, Babs is just doing us, dog. You know how we do.
Hey, and essential water is crucial, okay? Because you don't want to just juice it, okay? Even though I love the old school juicy juice from back in the day.
Man, them were cold.
Hey, used to be on that. Used to be on Wick, man. Juicy juice.
So did. Hey, you gotta know something about that Wick, man. Shout out to the Wick people, the Wick kids out there.
Yeah, but Wick, man, players, we can only get like, I'm gonna say this, and it's like, well, take what you can get because we was getting government assistance, but we can only get like Cheerio, non-sugary stuff, man. It's like the Frosted Flake, Fruit Loops, and stuff like that.
I couldn't get that Savage. Nah, yeah. They, a little later, they came out with the get the multigrain Cheerios a little later. You know what I mean?
Nah, see, we ain't get that. It was Cornflake City, baby.
Cornflake City. Savage, man.
Hey,
man.
Hold on, but guess what I did?
What?
Guess what I did real quick, but so I can get out in front of it. We came to Knoxville, and we're playing at Lindsey Nelson, and I told the crew, and that's Black Rob, Uncle Rob Ayers, okay? I told him early in the week, but I came on up here, and I didn't tell him the time. He hot.
He's supposed to be hot at you. He's supposed to be.
He threw me in the wives group chat. He talked bad about me, man. He hot. So I just needed to get out front of that before it goes any further. You never come in town and don't check in with your friends. Like that other check-in stuff, we can do that. But friends, we got to check in. That's on me.
It's supposed to know, Savage.
In Knoxville, my oldest got a tournament.
Oh, okay.
You know, baseball life.
You
Babs,
you making
God's
it?
land.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Lindsey Nelson
God's
Stadium.
country.
Yeah, Lindsey Nelson Stadium. That's God's
that's
country
right.
over there.
That's what he said. Well, I was wondering if you went over and said hi to Mike Keith and Josh Heupel, and since you're going to be part of that team, start fall.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got an assignment tonight. Actually, I'm pretty sure I can say it, but I get an opportunity to go have some dinner with some people tonight that's in town. So. A little recruiting going on tonight.
Okay, I like it. Enjoy.
I got to head over there in a little bit. By 6:30 is the dinner time, so I got to head over in a little bit.
Well, good. Can't wait to hear the juicy gossip off the air afterwards.
A few 5-stars in town, Babs. We got to close on one. Fabian Hyder is one of those kids. So it'll be very interesting to see how this shakes out for the Vols. They got to start getting some of these guys locked in.
Isn't it crazy? Like it never ends for these coaches.
No.
I mean, it's every day, 365 days a year. Like you are constantly recruiting your own team to make sure they stay.
Yep.
Like, I think it's brutal. I'm surprised we haven't lost more really great coaches because of it, and maybe it'll still come, but to the NFL or just out of the business or whatever. I don't know. It's hard.
I was listening to Buck, Lucas, and Bert earlier, Big Boss Bert earlier, and Buck told him name one happy coach, and I mean Bert got him really good. He said the Harbaughs. Like you really got to be in it as a family to like really coach like in this era, and I think that's about right. Like coaches usually because of that, Babs, are miserable. As we're listening, to this lawsuit right now with the Wisconsin and Miami. It's crazy.
Yeah, we were going to talk about that last segment. Basically, University of Wisconsin and its NIL collective filed a complaint in state circuit courts on Friday against Miami over, and they used this big word for it, alleged tortious interference, which is, basically tampering.
Right.
kind of thing, claiming that Miami's football program broke the law by tampering with a Badgers player. And this is the very first legal attempt to enforce like a contract, a college contract between a team and a player. This is the very first legal action we've seen. So it could, Savage, it could open up the door to a just disaster.
Well, Babs, I know, one thing coaches do, they're grimy, but they respect the job. You know, that's your guy. You got him under contract. Most of the coaches are hands off. They'll whisper from time to time, but what allegedly the way Miami has been paying out and giving guys bread and stuff like that, they're playing with a different bag. And the fact that not every school, not even the Power 4 schools, have that type of bag or that type of access. I think Texas Tech is doing it right now too. It just creates an uneven, I would almost say unhealthy atmosphere for college sports. Yeah. And I know it's it is what it is. Well, broke boys, get your money up. We can say all of that we want to, but you have these coaches that are pouring into guys, developing them, and then here you go breaking a contract that these kids are probably signing, 3 years, $3 million or more, and you expect to have them at that price for 3 years. And some of these coaches are saying, "Well, we'll give you $1.5 million," and that just messes up the flow of development, trust, and your job security, too. That's the other side, too. These coaches' job security. Not that I do care about it because I wouldn't want nobody taking my job like that, but it really does put a divide and creates a lot of animosity, I think, between coaches. Yeah. And they don't want that.
I think so, too, yeah. And by the way, the reason the Harbaughs are happy is because they're not in college anymore.
True.
They don't have to deal with all of this transfer portal stuff,
That's it.
All right. So, Ramon, we were talking in the last segment. It just randomly came up. I don't even know why it came up, but we were talking about preseason.
I know how you feel about it.
Oh, I know, because Slay hasn't said Carr ain't got no roof in a really long time since the Titans stunk. And so I'm like, it's coming. It's coming either once camp starts or it's coming once those preseason games starts. And we get to see Cam Ward in action. And then we got into the conversation of seeing Cam Ward in preseason game action. So I have a couple questions for you, being the pro that you are. First of all, the speed of, we know preseason games are vanilla, right? You're not going to see 8 million defensive schemes, or you're not going to get a great idea of what a defense is going to do throughout the year. But the speed of preseason games, how close is the speed of a preseason game to a real game?
It depends on which group you're with. If you're with the ones, it's probably a little tapered down because them dudes, all they care about is staying healthy, chasing their accolades, and making sure they get all of their checks, right? They know how to temper themselves to make it to the season. It's a gradual build-up, especially if the games are in a situation where it's game 2 is our dress rehearsal. Then it's a little bit different, Babsy. But for the most part, if we can really release all the audio of the stuff that we say, it's up to mine. Say, hey, bro, I'm trying to make it to the season. You good? We're good. Hey, as long as you ain't on that bull crap, then we're good to go. Those are the conversations that happen within those first games. Now, I'll say this: the 2s and 3s who are fighting for jobs and trying to jockey themselves into being backups and having a role on the team, that's a different conversation right there, Babsy. Okay, those guys are going hard. So if you're telling me Cam Ward is in there with the 2 offensive line with a group of 2s, I wouldn't suggest it. Well, at least I wouldn't want it, or I'm telling Cam, hey, Cam, you protect yourself. Get your 5 reps, and we're going to get you out. That's where I'm at with it. But when it's toe-to-toe, 1s versus 1s, and both coaching staff have spoken and said this is the dress rehearsal, then we're going to cook. And even then, sometimes it depends upon where guys are in their careers, Bab, because some of the greatest players that played this game have come up to me. What's going on, little bro? How you doing, man? Man, I'm going to get these reps. I got 5 and I'm out. As long as you don't trip, I don't trip. That's the conversation. So to take it from preseason to the regular season, it's NASCAR at that point. It's IndyCar at that point. And guys do have to see that, which is why I think more coaches are doing these joint practices, because you get real full speed reps, because you've got to go hard in practice. Nobody wants to play in a game and get hurt in the preseason games. And I'm going to say this, and I hate to say it because of the economy we live in, but nobody's trying to get hurt for $1,200.
That's right.
In the preseason.
Right.
Okay, but I have always been like this. And when Slay first got on this show with us, me and him went at it about this. But I need to see the Titans quarterback with the offensive line, with the starters. I have to see them in the preseason. And this was back when Tannehill was coming off a great year. And I was like, I don't care. It's a different dynamic, different offensive lineman. Well, especially for now, you've got a rookie quarterback, a brand new offensive line that's been tinkered with new guys on the left and somebody on the right who hasn't even been on the right. And then you've got a year 2 of Brian Callahan from a play calling standpoint. Do you need to see Cam Ward? Because I do.
Yes. To answer that, yes, Babs. He has to get in there and get a feel for the lights, get a feel for the actual turf, the field, the football coming out of his hands in real time too. Because here's the other side of it: college football and NFL football are different too. Yeah. So making sure, hey, am I going to be a glove person moving forward? Are my hands good enough to grip the ball, or where I don't need that type of stuff? So yes, I'm with you. He does need the reps. Well, the point I'm getting at on like who goes hard and who doesn't go hard, it depends upon who you're going with and the understanding. Like, I'll say this to your point, Babs, the Titans have a lot of questions. They have a lot of uncertainty. So I expect that offense to go hard no matter what. Now, the Titans ones that I expect to be out there may end up going against a team's twos. Like, the coaches can set that up because they know those twos are going to go hard, and that way you're going to get real looks. But when it's ones versus twos, you expect your bigs up front to handle business and not let Cam get touched, because that's what we're worried about. We're worried about Cam getting hit. And that's where it becomes problematic when you got a franchise guy that's going full speed in the preseason. Most starting quarterbacks, when they're established, get there, man, they may get 20 plays max in preseason games. So it's a matter of where the team is, Babsy, and who's in the game for guys like Cam Ward. Now, they got agreements, and everybody's doing their thing, and, hey, if you hit my guy, hit your guy, then it's all good. But Cam, I agree, needs to be in football games and getting those reps. But, again, here's the other part of it. There are 4 guys that got to get reps for this team, Will Levis included. That's where you got to start making a decision on how many he's going to get.
Yeah, you want him to get reps so you can he can show off that arm strength and maybe you can get some from him, right? Because you're of the same mindset as Slay, right? You don't want him on the roster if you're a Titans brass.
I don't, because backup quarterbacks can't be noisy.
Yeah,
they just can't, and that's by the presence. I've told this before, and I'll say it again. Like one of the, and he probably wouldn't admit it, this is just how I feel. One of the times I've seen Ben uneasy was when Mike Vick came into the locker room. We knew Vick wasn't going to take his job, right? There was no chance. But Vick has this gravitational pull to him, this popularity to him that make guys attracted to him, and quarterbacks are selfish about their dudes. Yeah. They just are. That's why most times with backup quarterbacks, you see happy-go-lucky guys that are great team guys that can communicate to the starting quarterback. I look at Will Levis' situation the same as Kenny Pickett was in Pittsburgh. It is uneasy. One time they interviewed Kenny Pickett and asked him, hey, it was a simple question. What did you learn from Mason Rudolph in the way he won a game? You know what his answer was?
What?
Nothing.
Oh, boy.
Even that causes a problem. You see why? Because Kenny has aspirations still to be a starter in the NFL, and that's the same way I feel about Will Levis. Like, it'd be great to have a great backup, but there may be a crowd here that start chanting, Levis, if Cam goes out and throw 3 picks. Like, you never want the crowd to be calling on the backup quarterback, ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, guess what? On top of that, we saw that kind of play out in real time when Vrabel, if you think back 2 or 3 years ago, when Vrabel was about to put Malik in and everybody in the crowd moaned and was like, oh, no. And it was like, whoa. Hold
I
on.
forgot about that.
Yeah, the man ain't even ran on the field yet. So that pull right there is next level. Savage, let me ask you this other question, though. Can you expose them being Cam Ward and this O-line and this group to too much in the preseason? Meaning not them as far as you getting in the playbook, but other people because the film is out. And people are able to nitpick and,
how much are you showing?
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because you got Denver coming up with this experienced defense on the road. There's only so much you want to give them, right?
So here's where it go. Like the first game of the season, man, you're walking out there like a bull looking into a red blanket.
Yeah.
Like it really don't matter. The stuff that you're looking for in the first game is last year's tape. If the offensive coordinator is the same, then the offensive coordinator probably going to do a lot of the same stuff. I'm looking at body language, release, timing. How can we get to him if he got rattled in the preseason? Most of the coaches anywhere are going to be very vanilla in the play calling because you can't go too complex because you need a good showing. You need a lot of confidence to come out of it also, and you can't trick guys also out of their jobs, meaning you can't make the playbook too complex. You want guys doing simple baseline stuff because you are also in a position to where you gotta build them up too as coaches. So it's very vanilla is what I would tell you. Okay. What your exposure is if Cam pats the ball 3 times before he throws it. His exposure would be if he doesn't turn his head whenever he's about to pass the ball. His exposure would be, does he always roll right or roll left? Like the plays, that right there don't matter none whatsoever. I was looking at guys, first 2 steps, I was looking at them, do they give effort? If somebody got them in a preseason game, how did they react to it? But it is so vanilla, and I'm going to last year's tape. They're going to watch more of Cam's college tape than they do anything he does in a preseason.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
That's the way it works. Like, it's such a – and here's the other part about showing too much. After, the first 4 weeks of the season – I mean, the entire playbook has been thrown at them at that point, too. Mm-hmm. So whatever you're trying to hide, they're going to see it. And the other part is it ain't necessarily the plays. It's the tendencies of said plays.
Yeah.
How often in this position do they run this play? If it's 1st and 10, they're going gap right. If it's 2nd and 7, quarterback's a 3-step drop and he likes to throw the out route. Or they throw screens often on these plays when they're up against the wall. That's what you're looking for more than anything. It's tendencies. That's when they're speaking about analytics and stuff, that's what that is. It's breaking down in this situation right here. He likes to throw to the right side of the field because he's done that 75% of the time. That's why you see guys say I can predict plays or, hey, I saw this on tape. That's why, to me, Savage, for myself and Babs, I absolutely love tape and I love breaking myself down more than anything else, because if I can minimize me and say, hey, I know I have this tendency, then I can stop you from trying to attack that.
Yeah, that's a great. Blaine Bishop talks about that all the time because that guy was, his Peyton Manning tendency story is one for the books. Yep. And just to paraphrase it, he was like, I noticed something that Peyton did with his feet when I knew it was coming my direction. Mm-hmm. And so Blaine would sit there and just stare at his feet pre-snap.
Opposite. Peyton would look at his feet.
Oh, was it opposite?
Mm-hmm.
And and then Blaine figured out that he had a tendency.
Mm-hmm.
But there was something else with Peyton where Peyton figured out that Blaine was seeing one of his tendencies.
Really?
And so he went and fixed it. Yeah.
Guys meticulous.
It's just, but that's all about veteran film work and intelligence and knowing that game, right?
So I'll give y'all a scenario, too, because I know it's Friday and I know the breaks have been a little bit short. So
we don't pay attention to them anyway. You know how we are, Savage.
So we had 2 tails, man, on Cincinnati. One was Andy Dalton when Cincinnati was hot. It was so bad they could have got no, it's not tampering because it was on film.
Right.
But when Andy Dalton's feet were staggered, he was when they were straight ahead, like a line and together, he was handing the ball off because all he would do is drop and hand the ball off. Anytime his feet were staggered, one forward, one backwards, he was giving a fake and then rolling out or setting up for his drop back. That was one tail we had on the guy. So those are tendencies. Another
That's
we had
a pretty
is a
big
great
one,
fan.
huh?
Listen to me. Wait, them boys ate Do you hear me?
Yeah.
That defense eat off of that tail. Another one is that you don't even recognize. That's why I say, like, guys' tendencies that they look at. Another was Andrew Whitworth. Mm-hmm. If Andrew Whitworth crossed his hands over, it was pass on his knee. You know how offensive linemen get in their stance?
Yeah.
But if he crossed his hands over, it was pass. If he had them upright, he was getting ready to run because his hands had to be engaged. You got to think the reason to relax when he's dropping back and passing is he got time to get his hands up then. Yeah. If they're up and his run blocking, he got to be ready to engage and push.
Dang.
Wow. Small things.
God, I love it.
Details.
Yeah. That's why film is so crucial, and that's why it's also very important for like guys to know what they're doing. Who was it? Like they get mad at Altuve for the Astros. Altuve and them are passing notes to each other in baseball for the Houston Astros, right? He said like it was one, and it's documented. If his hands are up, it's fastball. If they're down, it's breaking. Like it is. That's what makes the difference. That's why I always tell people it's more mental than it is physical.
Yeah.
Everybody got the physical.
Well, and that's why your guys like Vince Young are able to be successful short time in the NFL and not long term because they don't dive into the film and the tape. Yeah.
That tape is out there, Babsy. First year, you can shock us.
Yep.
Second year, you better adjust. And by that third year, you better know what the heck you're doing. Yeah. How long did he last in Tennessee? 3 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good. There it is.
Yep.
Wow. Savage delivering on a Good Friday.
Good stuff, Savage. All right, we got to go. We're getting yelled at.
All right.
All right, dog.
Have fun in Knoxville. Have fun recruiting tonight for them balls.
We'll see how it goes. I might not get nobody.
All right. See you, Savage. There you go, Raone Foster. You can catch him on In the Mornings with Will Bowling, Ramon and Will from 6 a.m. until 10 a.m.
Yep.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. We'll come back. We'll talk a little Tennessee basketball. How about that?
I like that, Babs.
They're in action. See, we just cater a show to Ron Slade when Mayor's gone. That's right. And then we have Frank Caliendo at 5 o'clock to kick off our 5 o'clock hour. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
Welcome back in to 3HL Radio 104.5 The Zone. Yes, we're wrapping up this 4 o'clock hour. About to slide into the 5 o'clock hour. You know what time it is, man. 3HL always getting you set for your weekend to get you all the way back to Monday. But first and foremost, still got a little bit of a show to do. Tennessee basketball is what we would like to hit on.
I figure might as well utilize your expertise today.
And I'm here for it.
They started practice, which I was like, wait, what?
Oh, it's here.
What? How?
Yeah, what are we?
It's
June,
freaking June.
July, August, September. We're 4 months away from the season. Season will be here before you know it.
That is crazy to me.
Yeah, 4 months away. Yeah, football is what? 2 months away? I mean, we're here, Babs. It's time to get to it.
I can't wait.
Yeah, update and the thoughts on Tennessee basketball. First and foremost, man, just listening to a little birdie. Nate Ament.
Yes, I think that's what a lot of Vols fans want to know.
A guy. Like Coach Mack like to say,
like
a dude.
A jag or?
No, a dude. Dude. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what I keep getting flashes of. Impact wise. You remember when you guys went and got Jabari Smith when he came to Auburn and highly touted guy, 6'10". It was more of a 4 that can play some 3. But him and Walker Kessler down there, they were a hell of a duo. That's impact wise, that's what I see him doing. But he is a 2 guard. So a shooting guard running around at 6'10", 6'11", that is a pure shooting guard. Like, sometimes you get guys like that and you say, you know what, we try to get him down low because of his length. We try to get him play around the
or he
paint.
Plays in the post when he's 11 because he's so big. So
No. This guy right here. And good for Amen because Coach Barnes has been through this with a guy in similar build with Kevin Durant. So he kind of knows how to, foster this relationship and this game that he has. And I'm sure at some time this summer, if he doesn't have KD come in, then they'll be on the Zoom or a phone call and he'll have his number. He does a good job of being able to have his players that have similarities connect, whether it be TJ Ford and Zakai Ziegler, so forth and so on. So like Chaz Lanier was able to reach out to Dalton Connect, like it's a real brotherhood. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, but he has some protectors. This will be the first time, as far as Tennessee basketball goes, that your core group is in your front court instead of your guards. You know what I'm saying? So he got some protectors down there with Estrella, Jalen Carey, who transferred from Vanderbilt, Cade Phillips, and Big Felix Okpara. Jacoby Gillespie has been looking good, shooting the rock. Everybody's kind of falling in line. I can't wait to get up there and get my eyes on them personally so I can make an assessment and give me some notes and jot them down and see what I can see when they're playing a little pickup with officials, not just regular pickup. I want to see with officials.
Where are they weakest? Or where do you think they will be weakest?
I would say weakest. I would say backup. Who's the other wing? So you have Jacoby Gillespie. You have a backup in Henderson, maybe. What's my guy's name? Bishop Boswell is another guy that could back up at the point guard spot. But at the 2 guard spot, you got Amen, who's going to take up a lot of the time. And if this bill the bill did get passed, if Justin Gainey is able to grab a extra year, that would help coming back. But who's going to be that small forward replacing a guy like Jamar Meshack? I think that's going to be huge. And on both ends of the floor. Small as far as being able to score. And if you need just a defensive stopper to be out there on the wing, who's going to fit that role? I think that would be their weakest. As far as shooting the ball, I think they'll be fine. Scoring the ball, they'll be fine. You got bigs that can step out and knock it down. You got guys that can protect the paint. You got guys that can rebound. You got guys that can push and can run and finish. So I would say that other wing, the three guy, the small forward, like who's going to be that guy? It's going to be interesting to see who kind of develops into that.
So SEC's schedule was released, right?
Yes.
Do you like it?
I love it.
So it's Auburn.
Anytime we don't have to go for that one right there. Anytime you ain't got to go to Auburn.
Auburn's at home.
Yes.
Auburn, LSU, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Texas, Texas A&M at home this year.
I like that. I like Texas coming to them. like Auburn coming in, LSU, Ole Miss. Ole Miss is going to be tough. So I would much rather get them at home. And A&M and Oklahoma, kind of question mark a little bit about them, but roads, go ass.
Okay, Florida on the road. That's a tough one.
That's going to be tough.
Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi State, Mizzou, South Carolina on the road, and then of course Alabama, Kentucky, Vandy for your home and homes.
Yeah, that's I'm cool with that. The home and home. That Arkansas
that
and Florida
game.
Arkansas and Florida
And
gonna be
Arkansas,
tough. Like,
yeah.
good gosh, man. That's
because Florida's just
right back to it. Arkansas went back, loaded back up. Mississippi State. It's gonna be interesting the team they put together. But Mike White down in Georgia too. Gonna be interesting to see how they play this year with losing a couple of guys. So, yeah, other than that, Alabama, Kentucky, Vandy, I'm cool with them. Home and home for those. True rivalries.
What you think about them, like, kind of building that rivalry with Alabama in basketball?
Love it.
Like, doing because, I mean, they've had some good matchups over the last couple of years.
Because it's always been there for football.
Yeah, no question. Now, the basketball part, being able to – and I think when you get it – and just like Auburn, when they play Auburn, all of their games, regardless of which team – outside of the down year, I think it was right before COVID or right after COVID when Auburn had a down year and Tennessee kind of, had their way with them. But other than that, the Auburn game and the Alabama game is going to come down to the wire every single time. And as far as Alabama goes, Tennessee's had Alabama's number. With some of the great teams and pro prospects that they've had, they've been able to get Alabama and have Nate Oates' kryptonite, which plays a different style of ball, man, when you talk about getting up and down and scoring the way they are. So, yeah, the state, it was good to see the state of Florida get involved because the state of Alabama was running things basketball-wise. Auburn had been to a Final Four. Alabama had been to a Final Four the year before. As far as championships go, Auburn would win one. Alabama would win the SEC championship. Auburn would do the same. Tennessee would go in there, shake it up and win a tournament or win the SEC regular season title. So it's good to see some other teams right there emerging. But going to be a fun time. 4 months away, baby. Break for you, Zeph.
We do have Frank Caliendo coming up next, so we should probably be on time for this guy. Caliendo. Maybe we'll put Caliendo in the boom room with Caliendo doing Morgan Freeman introducing the boom room.
I like it. I like that.
Can't beat that. That's next.
All right, y'all. It's that time. It's time to get on it. SpringHillAC.com. Summer has arrived. It's knocking at your door. You going to let it in? Or do you even have a choice? Well, the choice that you do have is who you're going to let handle all your heating and cooling needs. That will be SpringHillAC.com. Let them handle all of your HVAC needs. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, right there, family owned and operated and ready to get you a family member because they accept you in and you accept them in. It's a relationship that is like no other. Cool it off. $69 for your 21-point tune-up. That's real easy to get. Now, if you need a new unit, they got you covered also with that. Get up to 60 months, no interest. Financing with approved credit. You called another company about your unit, not sure if you agree. Well, Spring Hill also gives free second opinions, so you can always be confined. You are getting what you need. SpringHillAC.com is where you need to head to, and they also do free service calls with their repairs. Plus, low monthly payments on those repairs. You got to hit SpringHillAC.com up.
Good afternoon. It's 5:03. I'm Joseph Bonanno, live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. The University of Wisconsin is filing a lawsuit against the University of Miami, accusing the Hurricanes of tampering. They are seeking unspecified damages, transparency, and accountability from Miami for interfering with a binding revenue share contract between the Badgers and former defensive back Xavier Lucas, who transferred to Miami in January. The NBA Finals headed to Game 7 for the first time since 2016 between the Pacers and Thunder. Tip-off for that one on Sunday at 7 p.m. on ABC. And the College World Series final is set as Coastal Carolina, right in their 26-game win streak, will take on LSU for the national championship. Game 1, Saturday at 6. Game 2, Sunday at 1:30. And the if-needed Game 3, Monday at 6:30. For your foundation repair and whatever needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Welcome in to 3HL right on 104.5 The Zone. We are rolling right through on this Good Friday. 3HL powered by Ferguson Home. Discover our Mount Juliet showroom at 401 South Mount Juliet Road. Ferguson Home, where it all comes together. We will hit the intros here shortly, but we got to welcome in Zep Behind the Glass. Babsy's here. I'm Big Slay, and the one and only Chi-Town's finest. I kind of feel like we ought to be playing the Bulls theme music right now when we're bringing this guy here. The one and only Frank Caliendo. Frank.
How about that for an intro, Frank?
Huh?
Here's the thing, guys. I was born in Chicago, but I grew up in Milwaukee.
What are we? That's real close, though, Frank. So
read all the way through Wikipedia is what you didn't do.
So would you? Okay, so let me ask you this. So we're talking basketball. The finals are going on right now. Would you rather be associated with Oscar Robertson in Milwaukee or the birthright with Michael Jordan and the Bulls? So I'm just trying to put it to you that way, Frank. What about that?
I'll go. That's as great as Oscar Robertson was. I'm going to go Gene and Jude's River Road hot dogs and all that sort of stuff. We're going Chicago all the way. Elmwood Park, Illinois, Johnny's Beef. It doesn't get any better than that. So, I guess I'll take that. I'll tell you what, on the OKC, I saw Jalen Williams play in high school. He's from Gilbert, Arizona.
Really?
So, it's pretty amazing to see a young man who in high school was pretty good. But then when he went to Santa Clara, he went there for 3 years and got better and better and better, and then was a pretty high draft pick. It's amazing to see the development over the years of a guy who he was like a wing in high school, played a little bit of point guard. He also had, 2 6'10" guys on his team as well in high school. His brother is in the NBA as well. So it's kind of amazing to see a guy become that good. And it was a progression, so that's pretty great to see.
Look at that, Caliendo dropping all that sports knowledge on you, Slay, and hoops knowledge on top.
I got a lot. A friend of mine is the coach of Murray State, Ryan Miller. So that's 2 hours away. I'm actually gonna go down to down to Murray State? I don't know.
No, you're going to go up. You're going to go up. You're going to go up.
Okay, go up. Is that, Tennessee South? I didn't even realize that until I looked it up one time. Now you realize that I have a U.S. education. That's your Milwaukee. That's your Waukesha, Wisconsin education. My U.S. history teacher used to go, Mr. Caliendo, could you look at the map and show us where the Atlantic Ocean is? And I'd point to something that wasn't blue, and he'd be like, could you please sit down, Mr. Caliendo? That's enough. So,
give us any more. Please stop it.
Caliendo, what kind of student were you?
Oh.
I mean, were you a jokester your whole kind of growing up life?
Quiet until about 6th grade. Then I kind of broke out of my shell. But I was, I never got in trouble. I was the type of person who I could read the teachers and I could read the class. So I always remember being in Spanish class, and the teacher would say something, and the class had no idea what was going on, and I'd start asking questions because I kind of understood. just to try and trigger people to understand what the teacher was talking about and help me as well. So I think I was always pretty good at that. But I only got shushed a couple times by teachers. Usually, they would tell my parents at teacher conferences that I was a leader and very good in class. So I guess I was helpful. I was kind of being a smart aleck a lot of the time, though.
Shocker.
Right.
Shocker. Okay, so the last time we saw you in person, God, I don't even know how long. It was maybe like 4 years ago?
Yeah, 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, but Slay was on the show, so it was probably 3 or 4 years ago. And we were at Nissan Stadium. I think we were live there at Nissan Stadium. You were with us, and we had a conversation about you doing a Slay impersonation. And you're like, I'm going to have to work on that one. I'm going to have to study that one. We call him the Tennessee Mutt, right? Because he's just from everywhere in Tennessee. He's got like this Southern accent mixed with like a little bit of, I don't know.
This ain't your little casual Morgan Freeman that you got to do
right. Yeah. So I'm just curious if you think you can do a Slay.
I think I would have to work on it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be in town, a month from now.
Yes.
So I'll give myself a little bit of time to maybe work on that somewhat, and then it's better when I'm in the studio, or when I'm around you, so we can. I can duck when you're like, that's not good enough. I mean, it is interesting when you're around somebody, and even hearing you right now, Slay, I can get. I start to get the grasp on it a little bit, but when you're next to somebody, it's even better. So if we can make that happen, that there's potential for that as well.
That's perfect. So we're going to plan on that. And as you said, Caliendo, you're going to be actually here in Nashville on Wednesday, July 23rd, 7 o'clock at Zany's. And then you're going to be in Chattanooga the night before, July 22nd as well. So we'll make that happen. You can do your Slay when you're with us in person. And we were talking about, as a show, going to watch you at Zany's too. So we're super pumped about that, July 23rd. Tickets at frankonstage.com. If y'all want to come join us, we'll go watch some comedy.
I don't know if he'll be able to make it out, but he always asks me when I'm going to play in Nashville is Jim Nance.
Oh,
Nance is always,
we're dragging him out.
So
friend of the show.
Maybe I could get Nance out and go, oh, Jim, this is going to be really, really good, Jim. Caliendo's going to hit the stage in a couple seconds. Here we go, Jim. Tony. I'll have to play it when I have a great message from him on my voicemail. One of my only saved voicemails that was from Jim Nance. Michael Lombardi actually hooked us up together to get that to happen, and Jim left me. I wish it would have been. I wish the greeting would have been "Hello, Frank." Jim Nance. I wish it would have been "Hello, Frank," but he started out with Frankie. Jim Nance. Yeah, it's fantastic, and I think Herbie came out maybe the last time or 2 times ago when I was in Zany's. So I'm always trying to get college and pro football broadcasters out to the shows.
There you go. We'll get Jim to come with us too. Yeah.
Definitely, we dragging him out.
So here's the other thing. The last time we had you on, we basically talked to Morgan Freeman, which is one of the best impersonations ever. So Slay does what we call the Boom Boom Room. You might remember this. You, as Morgan Freeman, are the intro to the Boom Boom Room that we put on absolutely every star that comes. I mean, Nance has been in the
Nance has been in the Boom Boom Room. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
And he was like, is that a Morgan Freeman? No, it's Caliendo.
Yeah.
So because of that, I think Slay's going to put you in the Boom Boom Room.
Yeah, it's only right, Frank. Now, you got to check this out, man. You go in the Boom Boom Room, the door's locked behind us now. The only way the door can be unlocked is if you answer everything truthfully to the best of your ability. I am the judge, juror, and the executioner in that, telling the truth to see if the door is unlocked. If you agree to these terms, we will lock the door behind you. Do you agree?
About it, guys, to be honest with you. I know I'm supposed to agree right away for the content, but I do have to ask you one quick before I do agree to this. Can I originally talked to Slay and we texted each other and stuff like that. And then Brent hit me up on Twitter, and then I messaged him back and forth. And then he said for me to come on today. And then yesterday when I texted him, we still on for tomorrow, meaning today. And he said, "Oh, I'm not in." So I was like, what is that all about? I just want to say, Slay, you guys are always there for me. And that's okay. So now I agree to I'm doing Letterman. Now I agree to the boom, boom room. Here we go, kids.
Zev, lock the door, man.
Yes. One man on his way in to the boom, boom room.
That is right there, the intro to the Boom Boom Room. Morgan Freeman by way of Frank Caliendo right there. Frank, you're into the Boom Boom Room. Now, let me ask you first and foremost. Frank, I know this. You're well-traveled. You're out here. You're going to different places. What's a nickname that you got, Frank? I need to know a nickname that I can call you while we're in the Boom Boom Room.
Call me? Wow. Nothing really... I'm trying to think. I've gotten Frank the Tank. I've had that a bunch of times. I'm trying to think if there's anybody. When people introduce me, they will introduce me as the amazing Frank Caliendo. Maybe that is the amazing a nickname. Which always makes me sound like I'm a magician.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. That I don't really have nicknames. But I think I don't really think I have one. So maybe we've got to come up with one for me.
Oh, Slay will take care of that for you.
I got it already. I already know what it is. Endo. Endo would be your nickname in the Boom Boom Room. Endo, kick back for a second, man. I got this question for you, Endo. Check this out. Now, I need you to answer it.
Sometimes people do call me Cali. So there's Endo, and I'm Endo here, but Cali in other places.
There you go. Yeah, no, you Endo in here. You got to be ready to roll with it now. So when you get called, man, raise your hand and let's get to it. This is what I need to know, Endo. Check this out. By way of Babsy, I got a question for you, but I need these three people to answer it. Who did you have for him, Babsy? The three people that you wanted?
Donald Trump, baby.
Yeah, that's one. Trump.
George W.
All right. I'm also prepared.
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama.
I am also adjacent to the other two.
So if those three were at a happy hour together, what kind
happy
of
hour? Probably the best happy hour. A lot of people are saying, if you come to the happy hour, you're gonna get some wings very cheaply, some of the best.
Some drinks too, but I don't drink anymore. I just realized that halfway through the joke I was about to do there. Let me be clear. These two guys are doing their best to be serious. And it's a difficult situation.
Well, it's not that. When Joe Biden, look at Joe. Joe's over there. Joe's over there by the jukebox. And that's right, they have a jukebox. What are they playing, Joe?
Hold on.
Guy, the thing, I'd have to tell you. I thought it was good. This is not going as well as we had planned.
All right. Okay. Endo.
So good.
Dude, I mean.
So good.
Excellent. Y'all, I'm telling y'all.
A tremendous bike trick. The Endo. That's a great Endo. You did a great job.
I'm telling y'all, Zanies, man. July 23rd, he'll be in Nashville, 22nd in Chattanooga. But first, Endo, before you even get out of the Boom Boom Room. Now, another question for you. What's your favorite go-to, Endo? None of the people you impersonate. Your favorite go-to snack. Like you need something quick where you go in the pantry, you're going to make like a peanut butter jelly sandwich. You're going to grab some peanut butter crackers. You want some little cereal you're going to make. Like what's your favorite go-to snack?
I'm going to go a chocolate. I'm going to go chocolate-covered potato chips would be probably my favorite thing. I think if I have them around, I'm going to that. I'm a big chocolate guy. Number one chocolate. He's not supposed to do the impressions, but he's got to talk when he's talking chocolate. He's talking chocolate. You got your peanut butter and my chocolate.
And you got your chocolate and my peanut butter.
Two great tastes go together. What do you call them, Joe?
Reese's peanut butter cups.
The face. If y'all are not on the
Reese's
chat.
peanut butter cups. Folks, come on. Folks, come on.
Okay, and no, but this is what I want you to do, though.
Killed it.
This is what I want you to do. You have to you're setting up. You're in you're not in a press conference. You're in a parent-teacher conference, but you couldn't make it, so you had to send Al Pacino, De Niro, and Morgan Freeman to your parent-teacher conference. They're filling in for you. The kid has a bad grade. You're trying to get the teacher to change the grade.
Okay, I hear that my son was having difficulty in your class. I don't believe it, not for 1 second. Yeah, I think he's a pretty good kid, you know? Yeah, he might not pay attention all the time. What do you think, Morgan? Well, truth of the matter is, I believe you wrote the questions wrong. If you write the questions the way they're supposed to be written, this young man will get them read right every time. 5 through 500 yards of the fifth slop, I can't even imagine. Hey, man. Oh, give him the A. Come on. I would give him the A, huh? Give him the A. Huh? You should give him the A. I think that's a good idea right there, huh?
Oh,
So
hey, and
just dead on.
hey, dog, real
Dead
tears
on.
in here.
Yeah.
Real tears in here right now,
Our
dog.
chat is like dying.
Things you say, Ron, some of that, yeah. The way you end words, I can. And you've never been on the East Coast at all, right? Or have you?
I hate the East Coast. Can't stand it. Too many people.
I get the South. I can hear it. So it's going to be in here. There's maybe someday.
Dog, I can't wait till we get you in studio. First of all, Zeph.
You laughing? Is it?
I can't wait to get you in here.
Oh, that's your laugh. That is it. That is your laugh.
Hey, man, Zeph, let him out the boom boom room first, man. Let him out, man.
Let him out of the boom boom.
Well. Looks like you did good in the boom boom room. Hoo-wah.
Oh, Caliendo, that was awesome. Good
boy.
stuff. Hey, what do you love about Zanies in Nashville? Like, we're super pumped you're coming back next month.
You know, it's a great room. It's one of the first rooms I ever worked on the road outside of like the Midwest. I started doing Zanies in Chicago. Maybe that's part of it. Zanies in Chicago, the Comedy Cafe in Milwaukee. And then Brian Dorfman at Zanies said, come on out to Nashville. So I did that. And I don't know, it's just kind of regular people. It's feeling like the Midwest. So it's got a, to me, middle of the country feel, but a Southern hospitality type of thing as well. So I just really like it. I don't know. It's fun for me, and people seem to get me, and they enjoy it, and seem to have shared like the impression stuff. So it works out pretty well. And the room's just great. It's just a classic room where everybody's right on top of you, and pretty awesome to perform in.
Yeah. Well, one of the comments in our chat was, I just peed a little. So, so clearly, yes, we get you here in Nashville.
That was Brent.
That's right.
It had nothing to do with me being on with you guys. That's just him.
That's just him walking around peeing a little bit.
Zeph pulled that. Awesome. Okay,
See
so
a doctor.
yeah, July 23rd, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Nashville.zanies.com for tickets. Also in Chattanooga the day before, July 22nd. So frankonstage.com. People can get tickets there too, right? I think we might have lost him there. Lost him for a sec. Anyway, that's where your tickets are. Caliendo, we appreciate you.
Thank you, Frank.
And now you're done. Here we go.
There we go. We can't wait to see you in person. It's going to be fun next month.
Most definitely.
I think he's cutting in and out.
Yeah, he cutting in and out on us. Don't do us like that. Hey, come on, Endo.
Endo?
Yeah, Endo, you can't do us like that, man.
I'm going to get you a shirt that says Endo for the show.
You better believe it. I need that.
I know you'll rock
Endo, you better Endo in the building.
Endo in the building.
Man, that was good right there. Golly.
Thank you, Frank. We appreciate you. There he is, Frank Caliendo, frankonstage.com, July 22nd in Chattanooga, July 23rd. It's a Wednesday, too, right here in Nashville. 3HL will be there in all our glory. We're going to see if we can't get Jim Nance and maybe Herb Street to go with us.
Yes.
That would be nice.
Star-studded event.
Yeah, we'll start that. Quick break, and when we come back, a Titans discussion for you. Who on the Titans is the most important person for Cam Ward's success next season? Slate can't stop laughing. We're going to talk about that next. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
Woo! All right, man. Let's get it back together. Let's get these lives out. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every single day for over 50 years. Brentwood Jewelry, BrentwoodJewelry.com, where you need to head to 7012 Church Street East, located in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Brentwood Jewelry is here to help you pop the question. You know that. Let them help you take the stress out of selecting the perfect engagement ring. They can help you find a beautiful ring in your ideal budget. Browse their incredible selection of one-of-a-kind rings, or talk with their custom design specialist to create a stunning ring as remarkable as your loved one. That's right. Did you know only 1 in 4 men involves their partner when purchasing an engagement ring? And nearly a third of women say they would prefer to help pick it out. Well, if you're thinking about getting engaged, Brentwood Jewelry is the place for you. They're going to make it easy for you. They got the rules of engagement already laid out. 7012 Church Street East, located in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Get you some deals. Get you some style. It's every day, and it's exceptional for 50 years and counting. BrentwoodJewelry.com. What's up, people? Welcome back into 3HL right here on 104.5 The Zone. Not sure how we quite just set it back off after having the great Frank Caliendo join the show, man. Be sure to go to FrankOnStage.com to get tickets. He's in Chattanooga on the 22nd of July, 23rd, that Wednesday. He'll be right here in Nashville. You keep listening to the show, you may be lucky enough to go to the show and kick it with us and Endo, and we'll try to get Jim Nance out. And I think he said Kirk Herbstreit, so we might have a whole little peanut gallery together right there, Babsy. At Zany's, if you stay tuned long enough. What you think about that, Babsy?
I love it.
Hey, man.
Let's do it.
That dude is a nut. He's a pure fool.
He's so good. I'm not sure. Okay, his Trump's pretty good.
No.
It's pretty dead on.
And Biden.
Biden, yeah.
Biden is
the facial expression for Biden.
Oh.
If you weren't watching on the chat, like just the facial expression, Pacino's facial expression, so dead on. And his Morgan Freeman is just unbeatable.
That's it. Yeah.
I mean, unbeatable. Like people ask if that's Morgan Freeman on our Boom Boom.
Really? Mm-hmm. Like straight up.
Do you remember when you got all starstruck with Morgan Freeman?
Hey, dude, like I not.
And you don't get starstruck.
No, I'm gonna be even more starstruck if I get to see him again because I've been watching Linus and he's in the show. Babs, you got to be on it. You got plenty of time right now. You got about 4 weeks before you get cranked up. You got to watch it's a Taylor
Netflix
Sheridan.
Or?
It's on. I think it's on Paramount.
Okay,
but it's a Taylor Sheridan created show. You know he don't miss. So he did Yellowstone, Linus, Landman, 1932, so forth and so on. But his cast is crazy. Zoe Salanda, I hope I'm saying her name right. She's in it. Morgan Freeman is in it. Nicole Kidman is in it.
Oh.
Like his cast is crazy. But it's like a CIA operative group.
Okay, I might like that.
I'm telling you, you like badass women.
Yeah.
She's badass. Like no. Hey man, she don't take no junk, and she going out there on the front of the field and getting to it. Feet on the boots on the ground. So it's really dope. You should watch it. It's only in season 2. It's only Lioness. I promise you're gonna come in raving about it.
Mr. Babs will be so excited if I agree to watch something. He tries all the time to get me into something.
It's so good.
Because I can't do anything during football, right? It's I just don't have time between prep work and Titans and this show and whatever else.
Yeah.
But like outside of football, he's like, come on, what are we watching? Let's go.
I promise you. You're going to love this. Her attitude, everything. Like you like Beth from Yellowstone?
Yes.
Like you're going to love this.
She's my spirit animal.
You're going to love her. She's boss. Oh, golly. It's everything. I promise you.
Okay. All right. I just wrote it down. I'll tell Mr. Babs tonight.
Don't worry. I'm going to send y'all a reminder.
So excited.
I'm going to send you guys a reminder.
All right. Our question for this 520 segment. Who on the Titans is the most important person to Cam Ward's success in 2025? Zeph, do you want us to start with you?
Yeah, Zeph.
Let's start with you, Zeph. You're feisty nowadays.
Yeah, I'll go. So when I was kind of putting this together, I was trying to think outside of players. So I put Brian Callahan and Bo Hardigree on this list.
Mm-hmm.
And I still think I am going to go with a player outside of that.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to go Calvin Ridley.
I think that's fair.
And the reason I'm going with Calvin Ridley is because we talked about it, what was it, last week? I think we talked about it, how last offseason we couldn't really see the connection between Will Levis and Calvin Ridley.
Right.
And whether it's on Calvin Ridley, kind of like how, Cushenberry that said that maybe he didn't try to make that connection as well. Maybe some other players like Calvin Ridley kind of did that. But I just feel like these players are buying into Cam Ward. And with Calvin Ridley being able to be that, I don't want to call him a safety net because he's a weapon out there. It's not like he's going to throw,
but
a check down. But
Mm-hmm.
he can be both. That's exactly what he can be. And if he can build on what he did last year when he took over as that wide receiver 1 after the D-Hop trade, I think that'll be huge for such a young quarterback who is going to be looking for a guy to make plays. That's all we've seen Cam Ward do, is look for a guy to make plays and be a playmaker. I think Calvin Ridley and him could be a good pair. And so I'm going to go Calvin Ridley.
I like it. Slay?
I'm going, I want to go unit.
You can't go okay, you can go unit. I thought you were going to go like multiple picks.
I do really want to go to multiple
No, you can't do multiple picks. Right. It's a singular question, Slay.
All right, so I'll lean back in where we left off last year with Bill Callahan.
Okay.
Bill Callahan and his offensive line unit, whichever mix and match group that he ends up putting out there. I think walking into it this year, you have more stability about knowing who's going to be where. And there's no question marks about who outside of Cushenberry because of the injury. There's no real question marks hanging over guys' head. Like for a while last year, we knew Latham had to get acclimated to the professional life. Skoronski, how was he going to be in year 2? And then, you had Radens coming back from injury. There's so many different moving parts. Dillard coming in, like, what was he going to be? Like, it was so many moving parts, and you were just trying to make it happen. This year, I think coming into it, you already have established who your O-line is. You can actually go into the room and point out who your starters are going to be if everything is above board as far as health and everything else. So, you got Latham and Zeitler out there on the right side, Skoronski and Dan Moore on the left side, and Cushenberry up front. I think that's something to grow with. I think his success that he has is going to hinge on those guys being the ones that can protect him, but also buy him time. One thing that we learned from his comp is in Patrick Mahomes is him being able to make off off platform throws and the sidearms and things of that nature. So that's something you kind of got to grow into with your offensive unit up front. These guys knowing, I remember Savage always talking about Ben and them telling him, man, when you think you've blocked enough, block some more. You know what I mean? Because he's back there. Yeah, he's going to make a play. Yep. And I think that's the same kind of magic Cam Ward has. And for him not to make those mistakes, he has to be trustworthy in that line that they're going to give him time and opportunity. So that unit growing together and protecting Cam, I think it hinges on his success greatly.
615-737-1045 if you want to jump in this conversation on a Friday afternoon. I like that 30 to life. What did he say?
He said fans. I ain't mad at that.
I mean, hey, listen.
I ain't mad at that at all.
Cam Ward ends up being what you hope he's going to be. Yeah. He's going to be exciting to watch. Mm-hmm. And the fans will start showing up up again.
Your thoughts, Babsy?
Who on the Titans the most important person to Cam Ward's success in 2025? I'm actually going Coach Callahan, Brian Callahan, as the player, as the play caller, because I think that he was handcuffed last year. I think he questioned himself last year because of some of the Will Levis mistakes and some of the things Levis tried to do. So I don't think he was able to open up his playbook like he wanted to last year, just because of the lack of protection up front, because of the lack of some of Will Levis's skill set. And I go back to, if you missed Greg Cosell today, we had a great conversation with Cosell. Go check it out on the, where do you find those things?
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah,
Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please. See, Mayor's not here. We can't do any of this without him. Yeah. But anyway, we chatted with Greg Cosell about Jaden Daniels because I remember him at the end of last season talking about what the Commanders did early in the season to get him acclimated, and then how the offense looked different and opened up a little bit more towards the end of the season, that it was clearly obvious on tape. And it was, okay, they saw how Daniels reacted early over to the end of the year, and what you want is your quarterback needs to be super efficient. This is what Cosell was saying from the pocket, right? Now, Jaden Daniels, obviously, Cosell pointed out his offensive line wasn't great.
Right.
And they didn't really have the running backs to lean on with that roster. So Jaden Daniels kind of had to do more in the run game. But the play callers, the coaches realized, okay, let's see what he does well early, and see what we can get him more comfortable with. So because of that, I'm going Callie on, as Cosell said, your quarterback can't be a robot back there. But Cam Ward, I don't even think that's in his DNA to be that. So I don't think it matters. But I think Callahan is the single most important person to Cam Ward's success in how he calls the plays and what he does early and what he takes from Cam's college game that he sees can translate to the next level, because we know that Callahan is an offensive mind, a very smart offensive mind, to be able to figure that out, to see what can transition to the NFL from his college game and make sure that that is what they lean on early until Cam Ward gets more comfortable. So because of that, I'm going Callie, his play calling, single most important person to be able to put Cam Ward in a position to succeed early until he gets completely comfortable with the speed and the game in the NFL.
Slate, before we go to break, yours, I'm thinking, like, if I'm going more specific, like on the just looking at the offensive line, I think I would say Zeitler, and because one, you're going to have J.C. Latham on his right side, who's now moving back to, now it is his original position, but he's moving. He just got done learning how to be a left tackle. Now he's moving back to right tackle. And two, because whoever's going to play center, whether to start the year, whether it's Lloyd Cushbear coming back, I don't know what Lloyd Cushbear is going to look like after an Achilles. Big guys tend to be different coming back from an Achilles, and if he comes back at the start of the year, is he going to be fully ready? If not, then they're going to have to throw someone else in. And so he's going to be able to, Zeitler is going to have to anchor that right side of the line down for at least a little bit until that they are able to fully gel and become one cohesive unit.
Yeah, I'm mad at that. I just think it all kind of goes together. I wouldn't.
I mean, you can make the same case for Dan Moore on the left side, because if Dan Moore doesn't work out, then you're going to have to move. You're going to have to move J.C. Latham back over, and
that's what I think we can't do.
Is move and keep flip flopping him.
Let's let him settle in on what he needs to be. And I honestly think they're going to be all right with the attitude and what we saw from the offseason, from what Latham did as far as changing his body. You know what I mean? Coming in with a different mentality, knowing, self-checking what he did, not being able to get through the season, feeling like he was slower. I think this guy understands about wanting to be that guy. When you look at an offensive line as such, as Lawan was here, you know what I'm saying? Like when you talk about the O-line, I think Latham has the personality and everything else to go with it, to be like, nah, I'm that guy. Y'all come on, follow me. And I understand that a lot of times we get that with the center, but man, you can have all different personalities and different leaders right there, and I think Latham is front of the line as far as.
I just remember our interview with him.
Yeah,
after he was drafted.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
and then
so
from that point to even now,
right?
It's like, well, he even changed from there.
Yeah,
more, I think his success is right there on the verge for him.
615-737-1045. If you want to jump in this conversation, we got one more segment. Mr. Babs texted me and said, my pick is Tony Pollard. A successful run game will help Cam immensely.
Like that.
That is very true, and that's something we talked about with Cosell that Washington did not have, so he kind of had to be that. So I don't think Cam will have to be that. And not to mention using those running backs in the passing game, which I fully expect Callahan to jump in on that one. We'll take your calls, wrap up this Friday show on 3HL right after this break. Stick around.
What's happening? KellamStemCellInstitute.com is where you need to head to get some holistic stem cell therapy and understand exactly what it is. You can sit down with Dr. Ethan Kellam yourself. Get your consultation today, and he'll go over all of what your medical records were, your x-rays, your MRIs, whatever it may be, that's showing where your problems are. If you can just point to it. I mean, he's as thorough as that. You know, congestive heart failure, lung issues, autism, arthritis, so much more is going on with your body, but all of it stems from inflammation. And what gets rid of that? Your body, your cells, your solution. Yeah, the solution is your body's stem cells. They're also stored for future and continued use. These cells are your body's own healing cells. Understand that part, harvested and redeployed based on your needs. So wherever that hit is, that direct hit you need, right within your knee, your ankle, neck, back, shoulder, hip, whatever it is, it's getting right to it. 615-850-4415 is the number. 615-850-4415. Tell them Big Slay sent you to get well. It is KellamStemCellInstitute.com.
All right, sometimes it's time to upgrade the things in your home that aren't sexy, honestly. I'm be fully transparent with you. The last thing you want to do is put in new windows and doors, right? Well, guess what? Sometimes you have to, and that's how it was for us in our rental property and our home, and I chose Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville, and it has been the absolute best experience ever. They are phenomenal. You might be surprised, too, to learn how affordable those replacement windows are from Pella. Affordable, best quality out there, voted number 1 by Nashville homeowners as the leading window brand in Nashville. That based on the sitting survey right now of leading window brands among homeowners. And on top of that, they have the staff in place to take care of you, and they have the deals in place to make it affordable for you. Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville will give you the Dawn deal. Oh, yes. That's all you have to say. Give me the Dawn deal. And for this month, for June, 60% off qualifying installations plus 0% APR for 36 months. Ask them about it. Schedule your free consultation. You can do it easily online. PellaNashville.com. Welcome back in 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Dawn Davenport, Ron Slay, Brent Doherty. The mayor is on assignment. We'll be back on Monday. Zeph is behind the glass, and we started this fascinating conversation about the one player or coach that is the most important to Cam Ward's success in 2025. 615-737-1045. Got a couple more minutes here on the show, and we have some callers lined up. Let's check in with Roy from Pulaski. Hey, Roy. I can't hear him. There we go. You there, Roy? I got you now.
I'm in with you as far as Callahan, but I'm going to go with Bill Callahan in that offensive line. If those big uglies are out up front doing their job, then the success of the young quarterback is you're not going to see much from it. But I'm going to go Bill Callahan there.
All right, Roy Slay just walked in. Thanks, Roy. Roy from Pulaski. Good to hear from you on this Friday. He's going Bill Callahan.
I like that.
He's going the other Callahan. I went Brian Callahan, but he's going Bill Callahan, and honestly, the offensive line, which is what you went with, because young quarterback. And it's funny because even Cosell, when we were talking about, was it Bryce Young?
Yeah.
And he was like, no, Bryce Young is small. Do you remember when we saw Bryce Young in person?
Tiny.
Like tiny. His calves were like basketball player calves.
Yep.
I mean, just tiny.
Like a point guard.
Yeah, and he's shorter in stature. So that's a guy, because of that, for him to be able to do what he needs to do, he has to have protection in the offensive line. And that was a big reason why he looked better after they pulled him, after he was benched and all that. They kind of got, things figured out up front a little bit better. But, I mean, that is an absolute fair. So we've got Calvin Ridley.
Yep.
We got Tony Pollard.
Yep.
We've got Brian Callahan. We've got offensive line. And we've got Bill Callahan. Yeah. So those are all the ones we've had. I mean, could you argue that the defense has to be better?
I think a little bit. Yeah, you don't want your young guy having to be in a gunfight every single game.
Every single game.
Yeah, what about let's run in the offense and let's run the rock? And with that other defense, knowing he got to throw the ball more so than anything.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Tee off.
Exactly.
On an offensive line that is going to be better, no doubt, but might still not be great.
It's just better.
We'll see.
Better is great, baby.
Jury's out.
Better is great.
Love y'all in the chat. Love y'all on the phone. Misty, sorry we missed you.
In Bon Aqua?
Yes, we'll get you on Monday. Thank you all for being a part of this show. We appreciate you so much. Happy Friday to you all. Have a great weekend. What does Mayor say?
Thank you for letting us be in your lives. We don't take that for granted.
Nor do we take that lightly.
Nor lightly. Good night. God bless you.
See ya.
Wouldn't want to be you unless you were getting a shout out to the one and only Frank Caliendo, man. Y'all better get y'all tickets. They're going to sell out. We'll be in the building.
Endo. He has a nickname.
Yes, he does.